You.
Now she better proceed with caution.
During the same incident, Miss McKinney kicked your car.
The driver's side door.
Your Honor, that's not true.
You want to say something to her?
Don't interrupt the judge.
Perfect.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 22-year-old Brianna Williams and her father, Lewis, are suing the ex-girlfriend of Brianna's boyfriend, Fantasia McKinney, for damaging her car when she kicked it, harassment, and emotional distress.
Order. All rise. It's case number 146 on the calendar in the matter Williams versus McKinney.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Your last name is Williams?
Yes, yes.
You are her?
Dad, her father.
And the car is in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
But you weren't present that day?
No, sir. No, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't actually need you standing up next to her.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the boyfriend?
Yes, this is my boyfriend, Jeffrey.
Okay, Jeffrey, I'm going to ask you to stand up next to Miss Williams.
Yes.
And you have two children together?
Yes.
And you are her?
Father.
You're no longer a couple. How old are the children that you have together?
My son, he's 5 years old, and my daughter, she's 4 years old.
Did you and Miss McKinney ever live together?
Yes.
Until when?
Until, I would say, 2016, like earlier that year, just for like a month.
You lived together for a month, or you lived together?
Yes, just lived together for a month in 2016.
Your Honor, that's
Yes.
not true. He was staying with me for like months at a time, off and on.
Off and on is not a family. Off and on
He also stayed at the house.
off and on is sort of ridiculous.
As well, he was staying with my family, with me and my parents before I was in my own residence. So he was there like for about
Not like.
6.
He wasn't there like anything.
He was there for 6 months.
And then?
And then we moved to my residence, and he was there with me for a year and a half. And then
Full-time?
full-time, ma'am.
Full-time. From when to when?
I moved back from Lafayette, Indiana in June of 2015.
Just a second. You went to Indiana from where?
I was living with my family and up until like June
Not like.
of 20. I'm sorry.
I'm living with my family.
I was living with my family like 2014, and then I moved to Lafayette, Indiana.
Who lives in Lafayette, Indiana?
I had my own residence there.
And where was he living?
He moved with me
To Indiana?
Yes, from my
Is that
parents.
right?
No, that is not true. I resided as well in my own apartment in West Lafayette.
Ma'am, that's not true.
You had your own apartment there?
Yes, in West Lafayette.
Why would you move to Lafayette?
I actually went to Ivy Tech Community College in Lafayette, Indiana.
So you went to school there?
Yes.
Why did you
Ma'am,
move?
can I?
Shh. Why did you move there?
I was pregnant with our first child, our son, Jeffrey Jr., and I got a place out there.
Well,
And
I mean, why did you move?
I
Did you
moved
move
because I wanted to get my own place and get out of my parents' house.
How far was it from your parents' house to Lafayette, Indiana?
It was an hour-and-a-half drive.
Well, that's a long... Getting your own place is one thing. Getting your own place because he's going to school there is something else.
Ma'am, that's not true. He was not physically going to Ivy Tech in Lafayette, Indiana. He was going online, doing online courses.
Just a second. So why did you move to Lafayette, Indiana, is my question.
I moved to Lafayette, Indiana to get a start, to get on my own feet and
Well,
get out
what
of my
did you do
parents' house. I got a job there, and I became an assistant teacher at a daycare center.
For how long did you work there?
I was there, moved back this way to come closer to my family in June of 2015.
Well, then, while you were there in Indiana, you had a second child.
Right, that's where our daughter was conceived.
Just a second. So you had a second child.
Yes, Janila.
And then you wanted to move back to your family.
Yeah, I wanted to be closer to have support.
Did you move back with her to where? Is your family?
To my parents' residence.
To what?
Maryville.
And where?
To Maryville, Indiana, I'm sorry.
Did you move back?
No.
You stayed in Lafayette.
Yes.
That is not true, Your Honor.
I don't want you to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Did you stay in Lafayette when she moved close to her parents?
Months later, I moved in with her for like a month, and then I returned back.
Months later, you moved from where to where?
From Lafayette, Indiana to Maryville, Indiana.
So you moved back to Maryville.
Yes.
So you were sort of moving along with her and your two children. Don't try to think of where I'm going. You'll never be smart enough.
Oh, no, I'm not thinking that at all. I'm not thinking that at all.
So just try to be honest. Don't think about what you told her. Don't think about what you told her father. Don't think about anything else. Just tell me the truth to my question. So you moved back to Maryville. Was she your girlfriend then?
No.
When did she become your... And say it without a like.
She became my girlfriend September 2016.
That would be shortly after you moved back.
Yes.
And when she became your girlfriend, tell me where you met her.
Where I met her?
Yes, where... Don't repeat my question. Where did you meet her? That's English.
I met her with her brother.
Where?
At a school.
What school?
Me and her brother went to Indiana State University together.
Her brother and I went to Indiana State University together.
Yes.
That's what you meant to say?
Yes.
So you met her through her brother?
Yes.
In September when you started school there?
Well, I met her years prior to that, but around that time when we became together.
You met her years prior. In what year prior?
2013. January 2013.
Where did you meet her in January of 2013?
In her home.
Was that because you were friends with her brother?
Yes.
And how old are you now?
I'm 22 years old, Your Honor.
So you were a kid then?
Yeah.
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 So you were 17. And how old are you?
27.
Okay. But then you sort of reconnected in 2016.
Yes.
Who were you living with in September of 2016?
I was actually at my mother's house.
Now, Miss McKinney, in September of 2016, where were you living?
In Maryville, Indiana, at my own residence.
And where was he living in September of 2016?
Your Honor,
I know who I am. Where was he living?
He has
He was
been-
living with you, or he wasn't living with you?
he was there at a point, and then he went back to his mom's house. He's been back and forth over the years, so it's not really a set time.
Miss
He's been
McKinney,
with-
Miss McKinney,
I'm sorry.
where was he living in September of 2016? At your house or his mother's house? That's a question that requires a direct answer. And if you don't remember, just say, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Good. So you were living at your mother's house when you met her,
Yes.
and then you became a couple.
Yes.
Now, this is what this case is about.
Your Honor,
What?
not to interrupt you, but me and Jeffrey have had a on
Jeffrey and...
and off. Oh, Jeffrey and I have had an ongoing relationship since 2013. That year.
Well, Miss Williams, that would be foolish of you, because since 2013, he's made 2 children with the defendant. And Jeffrey's very fast. I mean, he goes to college here, he goes to online school, then he goes to Indiana State University. So actually, you don't want to tell me that you would have an ongoing on and off relationship, because he and the defendant were clearly involved in a relationship that you should have known about.
Yes, but when we met, they were not together.
Yeah, cutting, Your Honor.
In
I
2013.
don't want to hear from you. In 2013?
Yes, when we first met in January 2013. He had a son already, the first child.
Yes. But the second one wasn't born yet.
Right, but that she was not pregnant in January of 2013.
That make it even worse.
Is your daughter a little bit stupid?
I think so sometime.
That's all. And he's not a prize.
No.
You don't have to shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
You had an altercation recently. You're no longer together. You and this gentleman and Jeffrey are no longer together, and you haven't been together in a long time.
Correct.
You have 2 children. This incident happened on what date?
It was in October of 2016.
And so what are you doing here almost 2 years later?
I went to Purdue West Lafayette University. I'm a pre-med student. I ran track and field there. I came home, actually.
I want to know where you've been for 2 years. Just a second. It wasn't really an accident. It was on purpose. You were picking up Jeffrey. You were in your car that your father owns, and the defendant rear-ended your car. Now, her insurance paid for that, right?
Correct.
Because you rear-ended her car. You say, I was excited. I saw her, and then I saw him, and she was picking him up from school, and whatever. I was excited, and I went to go this way, and I put my foot on the gas, and I hit the accelerator, and I accidentally rear-ended her. But your car was fixed by her insurance. 2 years ago, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you claim at the same time, during the same incident, Miss McKinney kicked your car.
Yes, the driver's side door.
Your Honor, that's not true.
You want to say something to her?
Don't interrupt the judge.
Perfect. Now, it is possible that the insurance company, while they paid for the fact that your car was rear-ended by her, said that if there was damage on the report to the driver's side door, said, well, that was a criminal act of vandalism, and we're not going to cover her criminal act of vandalism, so we're not going to pay for that. That's possible. But my question is, why did you wait 2 years to sue her?
Well, I'm a student. I case in reference to this case in terms of her the restitution and so a few details.
Just a second.
Yes.
You had a pending criminal case for vandalism? Is my question for something? You had a pending criminal case. Miss McKinney, don't look confused. Your father's going to be annoyed.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Were you arrested for this incident?
Yes.
Did you plead guilty to resolve that case?
No.
They don't put you on probation unless you're found guilty.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brianna Williams says her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend, Fantasia McKinney, kicked her car during a fight.
Now, did you have a pending criminal case?
I don't know. Like, I had a case prior to that.
Did you go to court about this incident that happened in October of 2016?
No.
Like, no.
What were you in court about?
Well, this particular case for the accident, it did cause probationary period for 6 months.
Miss McKinney, I'm getting frustrated with you. I don't know about your father. I've been a judge for 38 years.
At least.
I know about the court system. Were you? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
Did you plead guilty to resolve that case? That's either a yes or a no.
No.
Were you found guilty? That's either a yes or a no.
No.
What did they put you on probation for?
It was for criminal recklessness, Your Honor.
Criminal recklessness involving what date?
October 24th, 2000.
That's this case.
Yes.
They don't put you on probation unless you're found guilty.
Well, it was an incident, Your Honor. And at the time...
That's not an incident. There's no such thing in the penal law. You're either found guilty or you plead guilty in order to resolve it, and you're placed on probation with restitution.
Well, it was an accident.
You're not placed on probation for an accident. Courts don't place people on probation for an accident. They may suspend your driver's license. They may say you're on a probationary period for your driver's license. You're not placed on probation by a court unless you plead guilty or found guilty. Probation is a disposition of the court, like jail. You get either jail or probation. Probation sometimes is coupled with restitution. Were you ordered to pay restitution? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
How much?
It was $120, Your Honor.
Did you pay it?
Yes.
Restitution.
And the bottom one. And the bottom one.
And I have, as well, to add with that, Your Honor, I have the records to show that I don't have any pending criminal.
I don't care whether you have any pending criminal, whatever. You're not ordered to pay restitution and placed on probation unless you either plead guilty or are found guilty. This wasn't restitution. This was court costs.
That was for that case, Your Honor.
It was court costs. It's not restitution. Criminal recklessness. And this was a plea. You pled guilty to criminal recklessness. Plea agreement. That's what that says. Plea agreement. You signed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was confused, Your Honor. I was just stating that I didn't plead guilty to...
I'm not confused. Your father's not confused. You signed it. The judge signed it. You pled guilty.
Well, in my understanding, I was saying I wasn't guilty to intentionally causing the accident.
Miss McKinney, then you're very, very confused. And your father will talk to you later because I don't have time to give you a lesson in common sense.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you see your children, sir?
No,
it's not an
no.
answer.
Me and my lawyers are in progress of going to court.
You still going to Indiana State University?
I go to North Park University in Chicago.
Take English.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Brianna Williams claims Fantasia McKinney kicked her car during a fight.
Now, you had a lawyer?
Yes, I
Yes,
did.
of course you did. You spoke to your lawyer. Judge allocated you, told you that you had the right to have a trial. They would have to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. You took a plea. You paid $120 in court costs, and you were released on bond, and you got 6 months deferred sentence on proof of insurance. Her insurance paid for the damage to the back of your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see the pictures of the car door.
The top of it, the dent.
Let me see the police report, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Williams, you didn't tell the police that she kicked the driver's side of your door. You said she hit the window and was yelling as she hit the window, "Get out of the car," and then she called you a name. You didn't tell the police that she damaged the door. I'm reading the narrative.
Yes, but I didn't actually tell the police in a sense that all the damage that happened to the back of my vehicle either, you know?
Then what you do is you bring the case within a 2-year period. This is the freshest time in your mind. Described exactly what she did. She rammed the back of your car twice.
Yes.
You said to the police she hit the glass part of your door and yelled at you to get out of the car. She called you a name. Never once in your narrative. And there was no damage to the window, so why would you say, she told me to get out of the car, and then she kicked the car door, causing damage to my car door? That should be in here. That's why you bring a case immediately. Do you see your children, sir? That's
No,
almost not an
no.
answer.
No.
You don't. Is there a reason that you don't see your children?
Me and my lawyers are in progress of going to court.
My lawyer and I are in the...
My lawyer and I are in progress.
You still going to Indiana State University?
I go to North Park University in Chicago.
Take English. A couple of English courses.
Yeah.
You're 27 years old?
Yes.
Do you work?
I'm a college student working to make a living.
So my next question to you is, how much support do you pay for your children?
None.
None.
Did I hear anything from you?
Sorry, Judge.
Who's supposed to support your children?
Me and my lawyers are in progress just
Me.
due to the...
Take English.
I am in progress of doing that to
I
make
am
sure.
in the process of...
I am in the process of doing that
You
right
have
now.
2 children.
Yes.
They have to be supported.
Yes.
You don't want your girlfriend to support your children, do you?
No, not at all.
Well, it's a good thing that they weren't on meat hooks, you know, in some freezer between the time you decided to graduate from college and now, without at least contributing to their support. If you make children, you have to support them.
Yes.
Yes, good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What?
I did many times to try to settle any type of way to pay Fantasia, but she was not reasonable in any type of way of wanting to accept anything from me.
Well,
Your Honor, can
Miss
I say-
McKinney is angry. She better get unangry. You made 2 children with him. It's not their fault that it didn't work out. You made one and he didn't marry you, so you made another one. Not smart. And if now your father has the burden of supporting your 2 children, are you living with him?
No, Your Honor.
Who do you live with?
I live on my own
And how do you support your children?
by working
Who takes care of them?
myself alone.
Well, how can you take care of them when you're working?
They go to daycare, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
An assistant teacher at a daycare.
The children go to the same daycare?
Yes.
No, I got it. We're done. Your case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy,
Decision.
I did not vandalize her property at all.
I suffered a lot of verbal abuse from Miss McKinney.
I'm left being a single mother to 2 children. I didn't ask for this.
People to honor the law and not disobey the law and try to hurt others.
It's just time to move forward.
A hot real estate market was tempting.
You wanted to go into the house flipping business.
Yes, I did.
You find houses to be flipped.
Yeah.
But the only thing building was the confusion.
You gave him $5,000 for what?
To purchase the house.
He basically bought rights from me to buy this house.
It wasn't supposed to be like that.
I have to tell you, it all sounds a little shady to me.
Judge Judy.
you are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Alex Coley is suing Vlad Fedorov for the return of a deposit to buy a home.
Order. All rise. It's case number 156 on the calendar in the matter of Coley versus Fedorov.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Coley, this is some sort of a real estate deal. I'm not exactly. You wanted to go into the house flipping business.
Yes, I did.
And I don't know what you do. You find houses to be flipped? Is that what you do?
I'm trying to buy houses for myself, invest money in the houses, or I'm able to assign houses that I found to somebody else.
That's exactly what I said. You find houses to be flipped.
Yeah.
And when you find a house to be flipped, you sign a contract with them?
Yeah.
With the seller, or whoever has the title, whether it be the bank or anyone else. I don't know how you know each other. You want to tell me how you know each other?
I met the defendant through someone else that was like a broker. And so I met him on April this year, and he was selling houses.
I have to tell you, it all sounds a little shady to me.
Yes, it does.
I met him through somebody else. And you entered into a contract with him.
Yes, he said he had a house that was...
Said he had a house.
That he's selling.
Good. And you
so,
entered into a contract with him.
Yes, with another partner.
I'd like to see the contract. Now we have a contract. That usually makes my life easy.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
My attorney.
I'm just asking you because number 3, which is prominent, says the purchase price is $75,000 payable by cash, a good check, or money order to the escrow. I've never seen the word good check in something. It just, as opposed to a bad check. It's funny there. It's odd. A good check.
Probably it means cashier's check.
Purchase shall deposit in escrow as earnest money, 0. Who's Skyline Property Solutions?
It's my company.
Who's Wesley somebody? I can't read. Trustee.
That was my partner.
Your partner?
Yeah, that we were getting into the deal with to buy the house from him.
Okay. So you and your partner agreed to buy this house and bought his right to sell the house and gave him $10,000.
It wasn't supposed to be like that. What it is was we were just buying the house from him, and we had to put the down payment. So the down payment was the $5,000 that I wrote a check to him, and then he was going to get a $5,000 from my partner.
Just a second. Would you show me where you signed this contract? I don't see anywhere where...
So, and then the $5,000 is there, and I have the payments that I wrote him a check for.
No, I'm not...
Oh, okay.
Just first show me where his signature is.
Right next to the $5,000.
There's no contract. Your name isn't on this contract. Did you sign this anywhere? It doesn't say anything. Somebody agrees to buy something. Vincent. Who is who?
Vincent is the owner of the house.
You're in way over your head. Anyway, you gave him $5,000 for what? Because this means absolutely nothing to me. You gave him $5,000 for what?
To purchase the house with my partner.
Okay. When were you supposed to close?
In 30 days, and then in 20 days we canceled.
Just a second. You gave him the $5,000 when?
On April 21st, and he cashed it.
21?
Yes, April 21st.
You agree that you were given $5,000 as earnest money on April 21st of this year?
Yeah, I agree.
And you agreed to close property that you didn't own? Just a second. You agreed to close property with him on property that you didn't own?
No, it's not this way. I agreed with the owner that I wanted to buy the property within 30 days, or I had the right to assign it. The contract from me for $10,000, $5K been paid at the moment of signing of that assignment agreement, and another $5K from escrow. That's where it's supposed to come from at the day of closing. So he basically bought rights from me to buy this house.
So he bought rights from you to buy your rights and gave you $5,000.
Right.
Now, 20 days later, tell me what happened.
20 days later, he said They have somebody else buying the house. The deal wasn't going quick enough for me and my partner. And so you can get out and we'll get somebody in and give you your $5,000 back.
So you could get out and get somebody else in?
Yes, get
What
out
does
of
that
the
mean?
contract. And then he'll get somebody else in to buy the house. So then I'll be out and he'll give me the $5,000 because the funding was taking too long. And so...
Oh, you mean your funding was taking too long?
Yes.
But on what date was that? You must have some emails back and forth.
It was 20 days later that we canceled the contract.
Show me. All you have to do is show me. Don't give me a whole lot of paper. Show me the date where he said to you, it's taking too long.
I never said that, by the way.
He's got to show it to me.
So this was on 5/9/2018, where
I don't know what you're showing me, sir. I want to see proof that he told you that your deal wasn't going fast enough and he was going to sell the deal to somebody else.
So that was the paperwork that I received, but we did talk on the phone over that, over the fact that we weren't getting funding fast enough and there was somebody else that was coming in to buy the house. And so they told me they're going to get somebody else to come buy the house. And so that way they can...
I'm going to make this very easy because this is all...
And he doesn't
Too
even
much
have
of
a
us.
real estate
Just a second.
license.
Don't tell me he doesn't have a real estate license. If you wanted somebody with a real estate license, you wouldn't ask your buddy to hook you up with somebody. That smells from a scam. Now, was this house sold?
No.
Does Mr. Vincent still own the house?
Yes.
Is it currently on the market?
No.
When was it taken off the market? What month?
It must be May somewhere.
Just a second. Think before you answer. When was it taken off the market?
Officially, it's never been on the market. I found...
Just a second. Officially?
It never
been on the market?
Never.
Does Mr. Vincent live there?
Yes.
With whom?
Himself only.
How big is the house?
1,300 square feet.
And what kind of work did you do for Mr. Vincent?
Okay. He found me, actually, and he wanted me to buy his house.
He wanted you to buy what month and year?
April 2018.
2018. You're a scam artist. He gets his money back. You're a scam artist, probably with Mr. Vincent. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I knew he was kind of like that. He was a scammy kind of guy.
The person contacted me, and the house officially never been on the market.
When he asked me for cash in the beginning,
We agreed that I will buy the house or I will assign the house.
and I couldn't see the house in the market and we didn't buy it, that was kind of a red flag for me.
I don't think I'm guilty. I don't see I'm doing anything wrong, actually.
I'm not gonna do this kind of deals anymore.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Gibson versus Abramson. Step forward.
Catherine Gibson is suing Harold Abramson for damages after his dog mauled her.
Miss Gibson, you were mauled by the defendant's dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
On what date did this happen?
May 5th, 2018.
And it happened on the property that belongs to a friend of yours,
Yes,
who is
ma'am.
Abrahamson. You live on Miss Weaver's property. You're the handyman?
Used to be. Yes, ma'am. I actually built the house.
Were you on May 5th, her
Yes, ma'am.
handyman?
Not a handyman. I was living on the property, though.
What were you doing there?
There's a residence in the back of the property that I live in.
You rent?
Yes, ma'am.
So you were a renter. How much rent were you paying her?
$400 a month.
How long had you lived there?
5 years.
When did you move out?
I haven't yet. I still live on the property.
And where is Miss Weaver?
She's in the main house.
Other than renting the property, do you do any work there?
Occasionally, yes, small stuff, not really handyman stuff, helping
Does
out.
she pay you for that?
She doesn't give me cash for it. No, ma'am.
Fine, so you are purely a renter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You pay her $400 a month to live in your house.
Yes.
That's where your dogs have to be.
Well-
In your house. We're supposed to keep them in control so that somebody doesn't get almost mauled to death.
And later today,
She doesn't have to pay for your child support, right? You would say it's not right for Miss Raines, who you were dating, to pay for your 13-year-old child support. But that wouldn't be fair, right?
real cases.
Gibson is suing Harold Abramson for damages after his dog mauled her.
Now, other than renting the property, do you do any work there?
Occasionally, yes, small stuff, not really handyman stuff, helping
Does
out.
she pay you for that?
She doesn't give me cash for it, no, ma'am.
Fine, so you are purely a renter.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How many dogs do you have?
3.
What kind?
The dog in question is a pit bull Rottweiler mix.
And the other 2 dogs?
The other one is a...
Sit up. All the way up. I can hardly tell. Your pants are falling down, so I can hardly tell whether you're sitting or standing.
The female is a blue pit bull, blue Great Dane mix, 50-50. And then they have a child together, who's about 6 months old.
Now, on May 5th, one or more of your dogs attacked Miss Gibson.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're a renter and you have pit bulls or Rottweilers, you should have renter's insurance. If they'll give you renter's insurance, you're responsible for her injuries. Your dogs were roaming free. They weren't under your control. End of story. You're a renter. She was visiting a friend. They're not allowed to roam around free and bite people. That's a simple rule. You have 3 big dogs. They're supposed to be under your control.
We're under my control. They're on the property. This is a fenced property.
No, listen to me.
I wasn't aware if this woman was visiting.
Who cares what you were aware of? Is what you're telling me the house that you live in is fenced. Your little house is fenced. Is that what you're telling me?
There is a fenced in back, but that's not where they were.
That's of course, because she didn't go into your property. You're a renter.
It's one piece of property.
No, sir. You're a renter. You're not a handyman. That's what you just told me. You're strictly a renter. You don't have the house back there because the house is under your control because you're taking care of it. You pay her $400 a month to live in your house.
Yes.
That's where your dogs have to be.
Well,
in your house.
Your Honor.
And if they're outside of your house, they have to be under your control.
Your Honor.
On Cindy Weaver's property is not in your control.
Your Honor.
What?
Cindy Weaver was aware that these animals
Don't tell me what
roamed this 4-acre parcel.
Just pay careful attention to me.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't tell me what Cindy Weaver was aware of because that calls for the operation of the mind of another person.
Yes, ma'am.
That is impermissible in a court of law.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you, you have...
Conversation.
We're supposed to keep them in control so that somebody doesn't get almost mauled to death.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
What else do you think he owes you for?
Your Honor, after he got out of jail, we went on a trip.
I don't care about your trip with him. Did you sleep with him on the trip?
I did.
I don't care.
But
what's next?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Katherine Gibson is suing Harold Abramson for damages after his dog mauled her.
Now, you have photographs of your injuries?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see them. Show these to the defendant, please. I have conversations, Mr. Abrahamson, with people who act responsibly when they have potentially vicious dogs. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're done.
Thank you. Parties are excused. You may step out.
His dog
I gotta say, I feel very bad for the lady because of her injuries.
attacked me on my left side,
But I didn't ask my dog to attack this lady.
knocked me down on the driveway,
I'm very sorry it all happened, Eddie, but there's nothing I can do. Like I said,
went through my throat.
I didn't teach my dog to bite people.
I put my arm up, saved my life.
I didn't ask him to go bite this lady.
I'm still living it.
And let's be honest, it is more than a bite.
I can't sleep.
I feel like he had been provoked in some way.
And depression and PTSD.
Because it's not typical for him to act like that.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Raines versus Roberts, step forward.
Natasha Raines is suing her ex-boyfriend, Kenny Roberts, for bail, jail expenses, hotel costs, and rent.
Miss Raines, tell me from when to when Mr. Roberts was your boyfriend?
Me and Mr. Roberts started talking, and
Mr. Roberts and I started talking.
Mr. Roberts and I started talking October of 2016, Your Honor.
And when did you stop talking?
We stopped talking, I would say, September of 2017.
Now, between October of 2016 and September of 2017, you say he owes you money.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, between October of 2016 and September of 2017, you say he owes you money. Tell me
Yes, ma'am.
what specifically.
Mr. Roberts owes me money for posting his bail.
Now, let's start with that because it's the only actual thing that I'm interested in. Bail. Now, Mr. Roberts, you were arrested and your bail was fixed and it was for back child support.
Well, it was the old back pay warrant from 2013 that was supposed to have been thrown out.
From child support.
Yeah, child support.
How many children were you supposed to be supporting?
One.
How old is that child?
13.
What was the amount you were supposed to pay each week?
At the time, it was $281.
Per week?
Every 2 weeks.
And how much did you owe?
I don't owe anything now. That was back in 2013. That's when, it was.
But when you were arrested in 2017.
Yeah.
What were you arrested for?
I guess the courts didn't properly dismiss the case because it was supposed to have been thrown out back in 2013.
Just a second. How much was your bail?
$720 or something like that.
How much was his bail?
$760.
Now, did that bail go to $760 went to pay your back child support?
Yes.
So that satisfied your child support obligation. Did it or not?
Yes, it did.
Okay. She doesn't have to pay for your child support, right?
Yes. But
So you would say that's your responsibility?
Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't know that was the case that they was going to do that. Otherwise,
I don't care what you knew. You would say it's not right for Miss Raines, who you were dating, to pay for your 13-year-old child support. That wouldn't be fair, right? I mean, it's...
No.
No. So you have to pay $760 because she paid it, right? She paid it.
Yes.
She paid it. Now, what else do you think he owes you for?
Your Honor, after he got out of jail, we went on a trip.
I don't care about your trip with him. Did you sleep with him on the trip?
I did.
I don't care.
But
what's next?
Okay, he also owes me for expenses while he was in jail.
I don't care about that either. What's next?
Rent. He lived.
I don't care about rent either.
Okay, Your Honor. Well, these are things he owed me.
No, he doesn't. He owes you $760 for child support. That's what he owes you. It's over. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
This was thrown out and it wasn't connecting the courts or whatever.
Well, at the time I was wrongly arrested, and she knew that. I guess she wanted to, help me out.
I felt bad for him, and he asked if I would post his bail and he would give the money back to me.
I didn't give her a set time or what time I can get her money back, so I guess she felt like...
avoiding payment and telling me that he's going to, but not producing the money.
The relationship was over with. She wanted to rush me to get her money back.
It affected it greatly.
Just a lot of her, nagging and, just...
In a way that we're not together anymore.
A lot of things wouldn't just, we just didn't mesh right.
Just know the background of, whether they're going to give you your money back or not.
Yeah, I wish I'd have been.
Lesson learned.
They spent years as close neighbors.
You had been friends?
Yes, ma'am. So I thought we were. She was a nice person, but when I got to know her, I've seen the real her.
Now, being next door is too near.
These are things that you put up, and she took them down.
Cut them down. They've been up there for 5 years. Sorry, Judge, sorry.
You've got a lot of attitude for somebody who has
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm
you're
just,
not.
She just
a
lied on
second.
me.
You're not sorry at all.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tina Edwards for damaging her property, stolen items, the cost of a surveillance system, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 145 on the calendar in the matter of Sanders versus Edwards.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Sanders, how long have you lived in your home?
For 9 years, Judge.
And how long has Miss Edwards been your neighbor?
For 9 years. She was there before I moved in.
How long have you been there?
10 years, ma'am.
It's your claim, Miss Sanders, that the defendant has been harassing you and destroying your property. When did that start?
That started, Judge, around January of 2017.
What happened in January of 2017?
The first incident was a friend of mine gave us gift cards.
Gave who a gift card?
Tina and myself. We purchased.
So you were friends?
Yes, ma'am.
You had been friends?
Yes, ma'am. So I thought we were.
So
we were neighbors.
A friend, well, not neighbors, but friends.
Yes,
because
I consider that.
If somebody brought the two of you a gift card
no.
for you to...
We bought the gift cards.
So you bought a gift card?
Yes, ma'am. And bought...
For how much?
For $200.
Do you remember something about a gift card?
I don't remember. Yes, ma'am. I do.
Purchasing a gift card.
That part I don't remember.
You don't? Perfect.
I
you
just
don't
remember
just a second. You don't remember it?
No, ma'am.
Good. So do you remember it?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to tell me what happened? She doesn't remember it.
Yes, ma'am. I bought the gift cards.
You bought a gift card for $200.
One for her for $100. Myself for $200.
Okay. And?
I had one more card for $400. I made a mistake and gave Tina the $400 card instead of the $100 card.
Okay, for Christmas?
For Christmas.
When did you give it to her?
It was like the month of December. I don't remember exactly what date, but it was for Christmas because her kids were coming to town.
Okay, so you were going to give her $100, but you gave her the $400
yes,
one instead. And then what happened?
And I wondered what happened to the card. I looked back, and it's like Tina couldn't have been spending a $100 card because she bought this pair of shoes. I realized what had happened. I didn't confront her. I just kept it in my head and watched her. She bought a pair of Timberland pink boots that were $99. The next week, Tina shopped all week. We're neighbors right by there. I see every time she comes. And she comes to my door and show me what she bought. So it's like if you bought the Timberland boots, then you bought pots, then you bought your grandkids' toys, then you bought a toilet for $100.
Okay. So, card.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have the $100 gift card?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was still in your pocketbook?
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't confront her with it?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
All right, well, that was a mistake. If you would have said to her, then, listen, I meant to give you the $100 gift card.
But she knew. I told her I'm giving you.
Don't tell me what she knew.
Oh, I mean, I gave her $100. I was telling her, I'm giving you a $100 gift card.
Okay, so it's your bad. You didn't tell her that you had made a mistake. She went and spent it. So that's what started in December of 2017.
Yes,
that's your recollection.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happened? That's so far, that doesn't bring us to court.
Okay. So then I told her we're not going to do any more money business together, okay? I'm not going to loan her any more money. Judge, I was loaning Tina every month because I knew she was Section 8. I knew she was low income, and I do try to reach out and help, okay?
So you were loaning her money?
Yes, ma'am, every month. She'd pay me back.
Okay. You said that here, that you would loan her a couple of bucks, but she would always pay you back. And then?
And then I told her we weren't doing any more money business, and that's what started all the ugly stuff.
So then you said, I'm not going to lend you any more money.
Exactly.
And then what happened?
I bought a purse. In other words...
You bought a purse?
Bought a purse for Tina. I didn't buy the purse for her. I loaned her my $100.
Counterfeit.
Shh, just a second.
Dollars to purchase the purse. I wasn't selling the purse. I loaned her $100. When I gave her the $100, she bought the purse, and then later on she wanted to tell me it's counterfeit. I wasn't selling purses. I'm looking for my $100 back.
Next.
Okay.
I don't want to hear anymore.
Okay.
About the purse.
Okay.
On to the next thing.
That's the next thing.
On to the next thing you're complaining about with her.
Okay. The next thing is I opened my door one day. Heard this noise out there, like somebody dropped a bottle or something. I opened my back door, and Tina's cutting down my mobiles. Off of the, I had an awning put up from her door to my door to keep the sun away. I have pictures of that if you'd like to see.
I'd like to see it.
She cut all these here down and and put a hole in my bench. And here's the bench.
Oh my God.
Oh, you mean these things?
Yes, ma'am.
These are things that you put up?
Yes, ma'am.
And she took them down?
Cut them down.
And you saw her cutting them down?
Yes, ma'am, as opened my door.
Okay, and when did you see her cutting them down?
That was in December. I mean, that was in January. I'm sorry, in
January of 2018?
17. 2017 is when this happened.
No, it had to be January of 2018 because you got the gift cards in 2017, in December of 2017.
I got the gift cards, and got the gift card 17.
So this had to happen in January of 2018.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay. You opened the door and found her cutting them down.
Yes, and
What's
then
next?
I immediately called the police.
Okay.
Well, before I did that, Judge, I went down my steps. I asked Tina, what are you doing? I won't use the words I used. And she said, I got tired of looking at them. I put some new ones up. What are you doing cutting down my stuff? Before that,
They've been up there for 5 years.
You know, you've got a lot of attitude
I'm
for
so
somebody
sorry.
who has
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
She just
a
lied
second.
on me, Your Honor.
Just a second. You're not sorry at all.
I apologize.
You're just a second. But you're not really not sorry because you haven't been able to contain yourself with the attitude.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Miss Edwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Few questions. You don't remember anything about the gift card,
I do
so I
remember
can't ask.
something. I remember the gift cards. I don't remember the amount paid for the gift cards.
Just a second. Do you remember she gave you a gift card? If
Yes.
you don't remember, you remember she gave you a gift card.
Yes, but I
You
gave her
remember
I gave her the $400 gift card back because she told me it was a mistake, and I gave it back to her, and she gave me the $100 one. She is lying.
Fine, just a second. What did you give her? Do you get where I'm going? Christmas. You remember she gave you a $100 gift card. What did you give her for Christmas?
She gave me a $400 gift card.
Pay attention.
I am.
Now you remember Christmas. She had given you $400 one. Said
did.
You gave it up. Speaking. You gave it back to her and said that she gave you a $100 one. My question to you is a simple one, and I'm speaking English.
Yes.
What did you give her for Christmas in 2017?
I don't
Think
remember.
careful. Okay, so let's say if you don't remember, you gave her zippity-doo-dah, nothing. Now, are you on Section 8 housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have sometimes trouble paying your bills?
Never.
Sometimes.
Never.
Did you ever borrow money
Yes,
from...
ma'am.
So you borrowed money from her?
Yes.
So she was a nice person?
Yes.
Just a second.
So I
How many
thought.
times... I'm speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
How many times did you borrow money from her? Would you say prior to January of 2018?
Several.
More than 3?
Yes.
Okay. And whenever you needed money, you would go to her, and she's not a psychic, so you would say, I'm a little short this month. Can you help me out?
Yes.
And you would pay her back.
Right.
How many times did you lend her money?
Never.
How many times did you lend her money?
Never.
Never. 0. So that would be a 0 Christmas present and a 0 you being a friend to her. She lent you, she gave you a Christmas present. Now, that's not somebody that you call a liar.
She is a liar.
Just a second. That's not somebody that you call that's not somebody that you have attitude about, because there's really having attitude. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So she's not a bad person. Now, if she says to me...
She wasn't then, ma'am.
She was a bad person when she lent you the money? Was she a bad person when she lent you the money?
She was a nice person, but when I got to know her, I've seen the real her. She started using my address,
You mean after 8 years?
ma'am.
You mean after 8 years?
No, way before. In 2014, she started using my address as her fake business. I have proof of that right here.
Who cares? Did you borrow money from her after that?
No. After...
Just a second. After she was using your address, are you telling me?
No, I did not.
You didn't borrow money from
No.
her. In what year did you say to me she started to use your address?
2014.
So after 2014 is what you're telling me you never borrowed money from her?
No.
14, 15, 16, and 17. Good. Now, did she give you the Christmas present in 2017?
She sold me the gift card. She didn't give it to me. It wasn't a Christmas present. She sold it to me.
That's not what you told me a moment ago.
Yes,
you said
ma'am.
she gave you a $400 one.
Yes,
and you
but
gave...
I still paid for the card, but she gave me the $400 card by accident, and she told me that it was $400. I didn't know it, and I never went and bought anything. And, you know, when she gave me the card and we switched to the right...
That's either a yes or a no.
I always decorate the outside.
Did you cut down hers?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is not show and tell. So the answer is, no attitude here, my attitude.
Okay.
So the answer is, to my question, did you cut them down? The answer is yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Minnie Sanders says neighbor Tina Edwards vandalized and stole her property.
Okay. Did you cut down hers?
No, I changed them to new ones. They was up there for 5 years. They were torn and colored.
How did you, just a second, change them? I want you to tell me, I'm looking at them here. Shh. I'm looking at them here, and I want you to tell me the method that you used to change them. Did you unloop them?
No.
From the bottom or the top? No. Did you use
I cut them with the scissors because I was going to replace them, ma'am.
Listen to me,
with new ones.
This is not show and tell. So the answer is, no attitude here, my attitude.
Okay.
So the answer is, to my question, did you cut them down? The answer is yes.
Not to be mean or anything, Your Honor. Yes, I did. But I was trying to make her happy.
A little bit after law school, so far, I'm not impressed with your case. I'm impressed that you're frustrated with her. What's next?
Okay, next, Judge, I called the police. I went and called the police,
and
right. They came out, and they said I couldn't arrest her because, you know, it'd be her word against mine. So they like suggested that the best thing for me to do is get a surveillance camera. So that's what I did the next week, you know, because the manager...
Tell me what the police said. So the next thing you did, after you saw her cutting down your decorations...
Yes, ma'am, and the hole in the bench.
You got a surveillance camera.
Yes, ma'am.
And?
And she started calling the owner of the building, saying I was violating her privacy.
Because you pointed the security camera towards her door.
No. Oh, yes, ma'am.
And they made you take it down.
Yes.
What else?
They made me take it down.
They made you take it down.
Because she said...
I don't care why.
Okay.
They made you take it down.
They made me take it down.
The management made you take it down because you weren't supposed to put it there. What's next?
No, the management came and saw it and told me it was okay for me to have it.
Don't
what they
tell
said,
me
right.
what they said.
Okay.
You took it down.
Yes, ma'am.
What's next?
Then they started sending me notices, you know, to Edwards about me. And, Judge, I go to work at 1:30 every day. I don't miss no days at work. I'm not home until 12 o'clock at night.
Did they evict you?
No, reason they didn't evict me because I went ahead and took the camera down. They wanted me to take it down, and I took it down.
This is so far, this is not...
She
see what I mean? You're not, you see what I mean?
I'm so
You're
sorry.
really not sorry.
Can I just ask you, am I going to get a chance to speak? Ma'am, please.
No, you have no counterclaim. I'm trying to see. So far, I'm not seeing a case. What's the point of you speaking if I'm not seeing a case? So far, you have no case. I want you to forget everything you told me about the gift card, about the tchotchkes hanging. I want you to forget about the security camera that you bought, that you had to take down or you didn't have to take down. What's next?
I cannot enjoy my own patio for her and her guests sitting out there. They don't sit in this chair of hers that she wanted to put up. They sit right in my door and my furniture and talk about me all while they're there. And what they're going to, somebody named James, they're going to get to come over. He can take this down. He can do this to her. I feel threatened, Jeff. I mean, Jeff.
Just a second.
Jeff.
Just a second. Listen
Judge.
to me. Listen to me. I don't necessarily blame you. I can tell she's a woman that has a bad attitude.
Yes.
Shh. Sorry. You're going to have to move.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
So you made a handsome profit. If you tripled your money, that's a handsome profit.
It depends.
It depends on nothing. You sold the property. You made a profit.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Minnie Sanders says neighbor Tina Edwards vandalized and stole her property.
She's not going to move out of her Section 8 housing. No. That's the best advice I can give you. You're going to have to move. You have no legal case against her. And if she's making your life miserable living there, and you're a working lady that never misses a day to work, and you go into work every day at 1:30, go find a place where you can have peaceful enjoyment of your apartment. She's not moving.
Judge, I didn't want to move. I was peaceful in my apartment.
What do you want me to do?
Stop calling me.
What do you want me to do?
I want her to stop harassing me through
Stop harassing.
management.
Listen to me. Stop harassing her.
Yes, ma'am.
I've just told her. So ordered. Stop harassing her. We're done.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
You're not supposed to be harassing neighbors.
I'm a good person. I'm a good neighbor.
Because I found out what type of person she was.
We were friends.
I work every day. She doesn't do anything but sit home.
Guys see through all those lies that she was trying to tell on me.
You know, I'm helping her, and you started downing me to people.
I saw the true person she really is.
I am a concierge.
Miss Sanders.
Because I will take this and I'm going to use it.
It's not over. Not at all.
So this is my first step.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter, Smith versus Geis. Step forward.
Lisa Smith is suing her former tenant, William Geis, for vandalism, property damage, and the cost to remove junk.
Ms. Smith, Mr. Geis was a tenant of yours for about 4.5 years in a townhouse that you owned. When did you sell it?
February this year.
What did you pay for it? Stop playing with your papers.
$115.
What?
$115.
And what did you sell it for?
$360.
So you made a handsome profit.
Yes and no.
No, that's neither the yes or no. You made a handsome profit. If you tripled your money, that's a handsome profit.
It depends.
It depends on nothing. So this is what you're suing him for. You moved out when, sir?
I moved out on September 30th.
And what you're suing him for is $5,000 because you claim that he caused damage to the place.
Correct.
You have no cause of action. You sold the property. You made a profit. I'm not looking at your bills to clean up the property. I'm not looking at your bills at all. All I'm doing is entertaining his counterclaim for his security deposit back. Do we understand each other?
No,
Perfect. Ridiculous. Now, you terminated your tenancy.
$1,897.
Did you do a walkthrough prior to your leaving in
Yes,
September?
Your Honor.
May I see it?
It's number 49 on the timeline.
Have you tried to get your security deposit back from her?
Yes, I have, Your Honor, and she has denied my opportunity to receive my security deposit.
You moved out on the 30th, correct?
May I speak, Your Honor?
No. So, at worst, this is what the property manager found at the final walkthrough. Carpets had been cleaned, but should be replaced. Right. After 4.5 years, they should be replaced. That's what your property manager said.
I already took him to arbitration. It's
Listen,
not true.
You took who to arbitration?
The tenant and the property manager. It's not
Which
true.
tenant?
This tenant.
Then what are you doing here?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What are you doing here?
Your Honor,
Because
he
refused to pay anything, and I was taking him to small claims court.
Well, I don't
His
actually care about you because your case is dismissed.
His damage. You haven't
This
even
is
heard
what-
about the damages.
Listen to me. You sold your property for 3 times as much as you paid for it.
No, I didn't get that money. I had to pay for all of the damages out of that. The damages were over $55,000.
Listen to me carefully, madam. You're not getting any money. Not a penny. Your property manager wrote, carpets had been cleaned but should be replaced.
The carpets were not cleaned. They were full of dog urine. When I walked in, you couldn't even stand in there because it smelled so bad of dog
amount
urine.
of $1,897. We're finished here.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm happy actually with the decision.
There's tagging on the walls.
There was no vandalism in the apartment.
The repairs were over and beyond.
I was due for my security deposit back.
That the tenant was not held accountable.
Not having my security deposit given to me when I moved out was unjust.
He was not responsible for his damages for letting guests stay in the home against the contract.
I always have a contract.
Some employee sold Mr. Winston a fish tank, almost $4,000.
The deal was dead in the water.
He called and said this fish tank is defective and he has scratches on it.
But then,
hoping you would go away.
Then a fishy response.
You were promised a new tank within a week and you didn't get it.
Correct.
You should not have sent a defective tank to begin with.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Aquarium store operations manager Simon Palafox is suing customer Ronald Winston for the value of a custom-made fish tank.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 167 on the calendar, the matter of Fish Gallery Incorporated versus Winston.
Thank you, Bert.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
What is your last name, sir?
Palafox.
Are you the owner of Fish Gallery?
No, ma'am. I'm the operations manager.
Were you the one who had dealings with Mr. Winston?
No, ma'am. Not directly.
Never?
No, ma'am.
Oh, well, this is going to make this case very easy for me. Who's the owner?
Roger.
And who manages the store?
Paul.
Paul, the person who sold you the tank?
No, I bought the tank from another store employee.
Do you remember his name?
I know the service manager's name is Eric, and he's the one who delivered my fish tank.
Who was Paul? Did you ever deal with him?
No, not until I saw him later in the legal proceeding.
What legal proceedings?
Well, when the complaint was filed by Fish Gallery, that's when I had contact with him.
Did you ever see him in court?
Yes.
Which court?
Court in Collin County.
Is that the small claims court?
Yes.
What happened with that case?
It was not settled.
Did they send it out to be settled? What happened with it?
We did not decide settlement and mediation.
So you went through mediation?
Yes.
And then they referred it back to court?
Yes.
And that's why we're here?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. This is your problem. You don't know anything. Some employee of Fish Gallery INC, is that the name of the company that you work for?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sold Mr. Winston a fish tank. Very expensive, almost $4,000. It supposedly was a custom-made fish tank. Is
Yes.
that right? And they charged his credit card, and he paid for the fish tank. And it was delivered, and it was defective, correct?
Yes.
So you can't tell me anything, because the owner of your store and the manager of the store who dealt with him and the person who sold him a fish tank, they decided not to come and to send you to be the sacrificial lamb to my mouth.
Your Honor, we're a small company.
You don't know anything. What you know, I can take all of my facts from the defendant. Do you understand? So this is the story as I get it. Sold him a fish tank, $3,800 plus, charged it to his credit card, delivered the fish tank. He called within a couple of days, is that right, and said this fish tank is defective, it has scratches on it.
Within 1 day, I called.
Good, within 1 day. And
But in their complaint, they stated that...
No, don't.
Okay.
Don't talk yourself into a loss.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes.
Good. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of general questions which don't require a hearsay response. The salespeople that you have are paid on salary and commission?
No, ma'am, they're paid hourly and commission.
Hourly and commission.
Yeah.
So they make the most substantial part of their money on commission.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the salesman who spoke to and had dealings, who's not here, who spoke to Mr. Winston, he said, the fish tank's defective, they sent somebody out, and took days to get somebody to come out there and look at it. This is a huge fish tank.
Correct.
And they said, we'll get you a replacement.
Yes.
This was on what date?
Well, I called March 29th, they delivered the tank. On March the 30th, I called to complain about damages to the tank.
When did they come out?
And they came out February the 3rd, I believe it was.
Well, they can't come out before you
April the 3rd. I'm sorry, April 3rd.
Okay, and then they said you would have a replacement when?
They said within a week.
So when you didn't get a replacement or hear from them within a week, what did you do?
So I followed up with Eric, the service manager, who delivered the tank.
Okay. Does he also get a commission?
No, ma'am.
Just the salesman?
Just the salesman, yes.
And to make a long story much shorter, you were promised a new tank within a week and you didn't get it.
Correct.
You ultimately, after a month, went to the store to find out where your tank was.
Correct.
And who did you meet with? What's the name of the person?
I met with Eric.
Who's the service manager?
The facility manager.
And Eric, because they can't tell me what happened, Eric said what to you?
At first, he offered me $200.
$200. So you paid $3,800 for a big fish tank, and now they've sort of, how do you say that, non-Brooklynese? They sort of played around with you for a month, hoping you would go away. And then they said, we'll take a couple of $100 off the tank. Go away.
Yes.
And you said no.
Correct.
And then what happened?
So
right now, you've been charged for the tank.
Correct.
And you put in a request to the credit card company that the merchandise was defective.
Correct.
To reverse the charge.
Yes.
They ordered another tank.
Correct.
Do you have either tank?
I have the first one they delivered, yes.
And you're more than happy to give it back to them?
Well, right now, I don't think I should give the tank
Well,
back.
right now, let me explain something to you, because that's what their lawsuit is about, Mr. Winston. Right now, they say that they had two tanks, that they brought one to your house, they brought another one. Forget the fact that they brought another one because your service manager was disrespectful when he said, we'll give you $200 off. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
But right now, you have a fish tank that you're happy with. And if you're not happy with it, you could give it back.
And they've had ample opportunity to pick the fish tank up since...
They're going to pick it up.
Since March the 30th.
Just a second. they're going to pick it up. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to pick it up with a marshal within 5 days of today's order. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great. Because that's what we call sort of an unjust enrichment. You say, well, I really don't like the fish tank, and they did the wrong thing, but I'm going to keep it anyway and not pay for it. Forget him. He hasn't said a word, right? That's what you want me to do? That sounds reasonable to you?
No, I was just saying that, Your Honor, based on the fact that I've had the property at my location since March 29th, and they've had ample opportunity to pick the property up.
No. There was a lawsuit started. You went to mediation. All that took time. You went back to court. There had to be papers. No. No. What the owner should have done of your company is sent somebody who had first-hand information somewhere about this, and that's not you.
What I'm about to say is not regarding what happened before the fact. It's after the fact. When we get back a used aquarium, it depreciates value by 60%.
I don't care. So if what you're saying is you don't want this aquarium back because it's depreciated, I could do that. That means you get nothing. I don't think that Mr. Winston should be enriched by having a fish tank that he's enjoying if he says it's defective. The credit card company reversed the charges, so he really got something for nothing. Your company has to be punished because you were disrespectful to a customer. Your salesman got a commission, didn't want to lose that commission, played around with him for a month. I'm trying to figure out another way to say that. For what? Well, even that's not even that's not right. And then said, get rid of him because we made $2,000 on this fish tank, so we'll give him a couple of $100 on the fish tank and he'll go away. Well, he wasn't prepared to do that.
The reason that they did that was because the tank was on back order. It wasn't something that was in our control. And whenever they called the vendor to try to get a new tank, they back ordered it.
That's not his fault. That's your fault. You should not have sent a defective tank to begin with. Your company thought it could get away with sending a tank that was scratched, not brand new. Somebody spends $4,000 on a fish tank. They want something that if there's a scratch on it, it's a scratch that they put on it, or one of their friends or family or a kid or a grandchild put on it, but not come to them scratched. So you didn't do the right thing. So the fact that now when you pick up this fish tank, because I'm going to give you an order to pick up the fish tank, he needs a marshal to come to his house, the fact that it's depreciated in value is too bad for you. You didn't sell him a brand new one. Did you see a display model on the floor of what you wanted?
No, not of what I wanted.
Our showroom consists of display models. Everything that's on the floor gets bought by the customer there.
Just a second.
We don't have backstock.
Did you buy something that was in the store?
No, it's not in the store. It's custom made.
You ordered it on what date?
On February the 2nd.
And it was delivered on March 29th?
Correct.
Sir?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like it was in the store.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a discount off of the original prices. We were running a sale on that size tank because the manufacturer offered a sale price for those custom aquariums. It being 72 inches, it's something for that measurement.
That's a lot.
When we had those in store on
So
the
why
floor.
didn't you send it to him from February 2nd to March 29th?
When Eric scheduled it on, I believe it was March the 2nd, they had scheduled it. And then on the second paper, they moved it to March 29th from 10 to 12.
Listen to me very carefully, sir. If what you're telling me is that this was an in-stock item that you had, and if he ordered it on February 2nd, it should have been delivered to him on February 4th, not March 2nd. If what your salesman was doing was telling him that this is a custom-made tank that we have to order out for you, and in order to justify that, he held off delivery of something that you say you had in the store for a month in order to say, well, there was a custom-made tank for you, and what you sold him was something that you had in the store already, that's a little more chicanery. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
The two of you had one car.
No.
How many cars were there in the household for the 2 months that you lived together?
It's a bit more complicated than just...
No, I'm not. Listen,
okay.
You can make it more complicated, sir. I'm going to uncomplicate it.
Judy. Aquarium store operations manager Simon Polifox says customer Ronald Winston owes for the value of a custom-made fish tank.
Now, If what your salesman was doing was telling him that this is a custom-made tank that we have to order out for you, and in order to justify that, he held off delivery of something that you say you had in the store for a month, that's a little more chicanery. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
That's like saying, you know, we have to custom make this dress. Get the dress from the back, put it aside, hold off for a month before you send it so we could say, well, we had it custom made to your measurements. And then you get it. That's what you told it. That's what you just said to me. Do you understand that that's what you just said to me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, that sounds ridiculous. Okay, so do you want the fish tank or not?
No, I do not want the fish tank.
Great. 5 days from today's date, you make arrangements to go and pick up the fish tank. Then you have your property back. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Yes, there was some damages to the tank, and unfortunately, it took a little bit longer to be able to get the replacement tank.
Very happy with our decision. I don't think I received a custom-made tank.
And we did fault at that, and that was...
And they pretty much verified that today.
The reason that we offered the $200, you know, to try to...
There were scratches on the glass.
Some of the time that he had been waiting for the tank to come in.
Just make sure you do some research first before you deal with certain companies.
Yeah, definitely. We would have to talk to our salespeople, make sure we inspect products before they go out the door.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shrek versus Mullet. Step forward.
James Shrek is suing his ex-girlfriend, Jennifer Mullet, for the return or value of a Lexus and lost wages.
Mr. Shrek, how long did you and the defendant live together?
Roughly about 2 months.
How long did you know each other before you lived together for 2 months?
8 years.
Were you dating for those 8 years?
On and off.
Did you ever live at her house during those 8 years?
No.
Did she ever live at your house for those 8 years?
Not until the
This
very
period?
end. Yes.
During those 8 years, were you sort of an exclusive relationship with the defendant?
To my knowledge, I thought it was.
You thought it was?
Yes, somewhat, yes.
Okay. The case is a relatively simple one. You say that she took your car
Yes, ma'am.
when the two of you split up. She says you gave her the car.
What happened?
Just don't tell me what happened.
Okay.
Now, we have a car. The car is how old?
1998.
And when you were living together, how many cars did you have?
1.
Was that the 1998?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many cars did you have?
I only had one car.
Which car?
The Lexus.
What year?
98.
So the two of you had one car in the household for the 2 months that you lived together.
It's a bit more complicated than just...
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
You can make it more complicated,
Well,
sir. I'm going to uncomplicate it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You drove the car, you tried to get it back, you sold it to somebody else. At that point, you were playing games with each other.
No.
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 Did you, in fact, sell the car to somebody else after she left?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
James Shrek says ex-girlfriend Jennifer Mullet fraudulently registered his car under her name.
Now, the two of you had one car.
No.
How many cars were there in the household for the 2 months that you lived together?
It's a bit more complicated than just...
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
you can make it more complicated,
Well,
sir. I'm going to uncomplicate it.
Okay.
When you were living apart for 8 years, did you have a car?
Yes, I've had
What
multiple
car?
cars. Multiple different cars over the 8 years.
For the last 5 years.
Multiple different cars over the last 5 years.
When was the 1998 car purchased?
Roughly 2 months before we moved into the house.
Not roughly. When did you move into the house?
June of 2017.
And when did you move out of the house?
August 13th, 2017.
Were you together when the car...
No.
Was it purchased from a dealer or from a private person?
Private person off of Craigslist.
Who found the car?
I did.
When you went to see the car of this private person, who took you?
Nobody. He came to me with the car.
You did not have a car at the time.
No, I had just sold my other car and used that money to purchase this car.
So the purchaser came to you with this car?
Yes, ma'am.
Came to your home?
We met at a Burger King next to my house.
How much was the car?
$1,250.
And 2 months later, you and the defendant moved in together.
Yes, ma'am.
So who did you purchase the car from?
I didn't purchase the vehicle.
He purchased the car.
Yes.
So I assume that I can rely on what he said to me, that that's how the car was purchased.
Correct.
Okay. Now, 2 months before you moved in together, what kind of car were you driving?
I didn't. I wasn't.
You had no car?
I had no car.
6 months before you moved in together, did you have a car?
No car.
When you purchased the car, did you register it?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because it was still currently registered and...
In whose name?
The person that I bought it from.
Yes, but you're supposed to take it out of his name and put it in your name.
I understand that, ma'am, yes.
Because otherwise he's responsible for the car.
You're correct, ma'am.
I know I'm correct.
Yes, I disagree with you.
Well, why didn't you register the car?
Because with moving into the new house and everything, I didn't have the funds to transfer the title.
Oh, well, you knew that wasn't the right... And the person that you purchased the car from let you take his license plates.
Yes, that's...
What do you mean, yes?
I've never purchased a car without the license plates.
When you purchase a car with, if somebody is stupid enough to give you the license plates, you're supposed to register the car within 24 hours and return the license plates to motor vehicles.
I've never had to ever do that here with a car.
What do you do when you register a car?
They just give you, if it needs new tags, they just give you a new tag and put it on the plates. Other than a lien sale vehicle that I've bought, and I've never had to return the plates.
Did you have insurance on the car?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Schreck, I am disinclined to help you at all.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, who has the car now?
Nobody.
Where is it?
I sold it. It broke down.
She sold it. You see, Mr. Schreck, what you're suggesting happened with your car is that she took the pink slip and went and registered the car herself and sold it.
She drove it for 6 to 8 months before she sold it.
So?
Okay. She didn't pay for the car, and I didn't give it to her. And if it was supposed to be in anybody's name, it should have been in my name.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Okay. You're correct.
Right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't know when she registered the car. Mr. Schreck, I'm not helping you, sir. This is the reason that I'm not helping you. When you come to court is a place of equity. You're supposed to do the right thing. Okay. And what you did was the wrong thing. You put somebody else at risk. You purchased somebody's car, and because you were busy and didn't have money, you drove around without registering the car.
Okay.
Your girlfriend at the time was just fine with that. She drove the car, and you drove the car. You were living together for 2 months. You split up. She took the car with her. Well, she drove the car, you tried to get it back, you sold it to somebody else, but you can't sell it to somebody else because you hadn't registered it yourself. You know, at that point, you were playing games with each other.
No.
No?
No. The night that she left the car...
Did you, in fact, sell the car to somebody else after she left? No, that's either a yes or a no.
I attempted to get something back from the car because I knew she was trying to take it from me.
Did you, in fact...
Yes, I did.
Goodbye, folks. You don't have the car anymore?
No.
She doesn't have the car anymore. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I did work in exchange for the car, and he had another vehicle there too that was registered to him. And I just took did what I was supposed to. That bills, protect yourself, pay your bills and, be accountable.
Did you send him this text?
Yes.
Odd.
Did a single mom's desperate times
I was very concerned. I offered to help her out.
call for desperate measures?
As soon as a man feels like they have power over you, they can start demanding things.
You mean the fact that he paid your rent?
Yes.
But you're texting him that you're prepared to become an escort to married men for money.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michael Whitaker Jr. is suing his former friend, Michelle Robb, for an unpaid loan to pay her rent.
Order. All rise. It's case number 152 on the calendar in the matter of Whitaker versus Robb.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. Whitaker, it is your claim that you made a loan to the defendant for her rent. Ms. Robb said that what you were was more than generous with her, even though you knew her only brief, and you took care of paying up her back rent as a gift. That's what she says.
No. No, Your Honor.
I'm just telling you that that's what she says. I told you what you said in your complaint. That's what she said in her answer. So, Ms. Robb, I'm going to start with you rather than Mr. Whitaker, since in your answer it doesn't seem that you disagree with the fact that he did, in fact, clean up your back rent.
Yes.
So I'm going to find out a little bit about you. And Mr. Whitaker, how old are you?
40.
You have kids?
2.
How old?
12 and 14.
And you live alone with you and the 2 children?
Yes.
How long have you lived in the same apartment?
It was a year in June.
And you work in a bar?
Part-time, yes.
Where do you work the other part-time?
Full-time, I'm a loan officer.
Loan officer where?
Global Equity Finance.
So you work full-time there?
Yes.
For how long?
I started at the beginning of May.
Well, that's just recently,
Yes.
May of 18. I want you to tell me what you did full-time last year.
Last year was tough. I was let go from 4 different positions in the year 2017. 2 different mortgage companies that decided to close their San Diego branches. A restaurant management position that I was let go from because my children...
You don't have to give me a because your because and their because may be different. What else?
And then prior to that, I was a PR director for a design build.
You've not had, from what I can hear, a reasonable, consistent way of supporting yourself.
Yes, that is true.
Tell me what your rent is in this apartment.
$12.95.
Do you get child support for the 2 children?
There is an order in place, however, no.
So the answer is you don't get any money.
Correct.
Having an order does not put food on the table, so the answer is no. So you support yourself and the 2 children from part-time bartending.
Yes.
How many times in the year have you fallen behind in your rent?
4 times.
And when you've fallen behind in your rent, has that been for more than 2 months?
Yes, it was cumulative.
So it's been 3 months. How many times have you been served with notices of eviction?
None.
So you always made up the rent?
One of my girlfriends is a property manager and understands my
Don't tell me what she understands. I asked you whether you ever been served with an eviction notice. You said no. My next question to you was, have you made up that rent when you fell behind?
Yes.
In bulk?
You know, it was in payments.
Now, as a part-time bartender, you're not making enough to cover your expenses, your children's expenses, and the rent.
Correct.
So you want to tell me how you do it?
Like I said, my girlfriend is my property manager, and she is lenient with that.
Now, you met Mr. Whitaker where?
I was doing a live stream on social media, and he was one of the followers.
Social media live stream stuff, you must have had plenty of times working part-time, so you are live streaming, and you met him in cyberspace.
Yes.
When did you meet him in person?
March, April 2018.
And when you met him in March or April of 2018, how far behind were you in your rent?
Around 3 months.
Now, you met him on social media, Miss Raub, and at some point you must have decided to meet. Where did you decide to meet?
At the bar that I part-time at.
So you told him where you worked?
Yes.
So you invited him to come meet you. Now, at some point you were having a chat with him, and you had to have told him, because it's not something that otherwise comes up in conversation, I'm 3 months behind in my rent. Tell me where that took place.
I don't remember if it was in person or phone conversation or text.
You don't remember? It wasn't so long ago. I'd like you to remember. And if you don't remember, just this is what happens if you don't remember. If you don't remember, then I'm going to ask Mr. Whitaker.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to hear you say, oh, now I remember. So if you don't remember, tell me. If you want to think for a moment, tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to ask him.
I want to say it was a combination of all 3. We would have, you know, daily conversations on the phone. We would text each other every morning, and for a while there, he was coming to the bar every Saturday. So it could have been...
Did you have an intimate relationship with
Absolutely
Mr. Whitaker?
not.
Did not?
No.
So it was a friendly relationship?
Yes.
So what I'm asking you is, with a man that you don't know, that you've just met on the internet, who you do not have an intimate relationship with, I want to know how you approach the subject of getting your back rent paid.
I want to say we were just talking about finances, just... You know, I had just started the new job at the mortgage company, and I think we were just talking about finances, just my life, what, you know, as a single mom, what I'm up against right now. And I honestly don't remember how it exactly came about.
You want to tell me?
Yes.
Very
Your Honor, I
good. Gave you your chance.
I want to make one quick correction to what Michelle had said, which we only talked on the, we didn't talk on the phone daily. We talked on the phone maybe 2 times over the period of time. We did meet a couple times.
Who is this?
This is someone I'm dating. Her name is Lisa.
Well, what is she here for?
She's here because she was the one after the fallout of all this was able to put together that, Mike, you just got scammed.
You needed her to tell you that? I don't know why you brought her. That's sort of ridiculous. Where do you come from? What state?
We came up from San Diego.
So you're in California. It wasn't such a long ride. We didn't have to pay much for her to get here. Now, I'm back to the conversation.
Okay, on June 18th, I received a text message from Michelle.
Text message, I'll look at it. Did you send him this text?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take it back. Odd.
Our relation.
I see this. This doesn't talk about rent.
I have another thing of text that talks about how financially hurting she was.
Okay, well, what it's suggesting is you're willing to do whatever is necessary to get money, even if it's something that you hadn't done before. That's what these texts are suggesting, and suggesting it to a friend with whom, according to you, you hadn't been intimate. Get to the rent.
After seeing that, I was very concerned. I offered to help her out.
No, what did you say to her, and where were you? Were you on the phone? Were you in person?
We were texting. I was in my car driving. I believe she was probably, I can voice text with it.
I'd like to see the texts.
I don't have all the texts of us talking of the rent. The next group that I have for you is her saying that three different ones that, on 3 different occasions, she said she would pay me back. I do have this one, Your Honor, that was part of the texting back and forth about paying the rent and her thanking me and saying that this situation was turning her tummy.
What triggers are we talking about?
I have often found that when money and men, when it becomes a power struggle. It happened with my first ex-husband. As soon as a man feels like they have power over you, they can start demanding things. And I felt in this situation that the monetary piece of the puzzle was his power over me.
You mean the fact that he paid your rent?
Yes.
You know, I don't necessarily disagree with you. That if you're a woman and a man, whether it be a boyfriend or a husband or a boss or anyone else, pays you, gives you an allowance, as they did in my grandmother's time, they feel as if there's a certain control. But you're texting him and suggesting that you're prepared to become, which clearly puts the question of control and power in play. And here you have somebody with whom you had a friendship, and clearly within 4 weeks of meeting him, telling him what dire straits you're in, that you're prepared to do all kinds of things that are inconsistent with who you are in order to make money, and he gives you money. What is he supposed to think? What's he supposed to think? You say in your texts back and forth to him that you would pay him back. That's what you say. Yes, of course I'll pay you back. What you say is, I'll pay you back. And your response to him, why wouldn't I pay you back? And then you start talking about these trigger things, these triggers, these controls. Well, now that's your excuse. Your excuse is, he triggered these bad memories for me about control. You triggered me twice. My trigger's my issue. I will work them through on my own. It appears that we will no longer be friends, Mike. I will reach out to you when I have money for you. Those are your words. So you told him you would pay him back. What's the issue? Why are we here?
It was almost just a placation to get him off my back at that point.
No, Miss Rabb, he wasn't on your back. And you said you would pay him back. How much did you pay her rent?
Right here it shows evidence that shows I paid her $4,900 plus my bank history here. I have another one that shows that she's already 2.5 months behind on her rent again. And this one right here actually shows that she did make a bulk. She did make a $3,000 bulk payment a month before she hit me up for money.
You're still accessing my account?
You gave me your password.
But listen to me. Miss Raub, sometimes you pay the piper. Did you give him your account in order for him to put money in your account to pay your rent?
Yes.
Now you're complaining.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
What did you send him the $750 for that you gave you?
He had been discharged. I don't know if it was honorably or dishonorably.
Well, if they discharge you, they usually bring you home first. Military doesn't say goodbye to you and leave you in Afghanistan.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Whitaker Jr. says, former friend Michelle Robb owes for a loan to pay rent.
Did you give him your account in order for him to put money in
Yes.
your account to pay your rent?
Yes.
Now you're complaining. Pay your own rent. You drive a car, Miss Rapp?
Yes.
What kind of car?
2003 Chevy Blazer.
Is it insured?
Yes.
Would you kindly just show me exactly what you paid for her rent?
It's in there. There's a payment on the 6/18, one for $3,000 and one for $1,900. And there's also...
For A&S Realty?
Yes.
I got it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,900. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think she was fair. I think she saw through everything on the paperwork, what was really going on.
We had developed a genuine friendship.
And I'm very happy with the ruling.
A great human being, a very generous man. And then
Someone who's a friend that's in that bad of a situation or anything like that,
I got laid off 4 different times in the year 2017 and was going through divorce.
to not step in and help out if you have the means.
It's chaos. I'm doing the best I can.
I mean, you look out for your friends.
That we can just throw up a deuce and go on our merry little ways.
I wish Michelle the best.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Knutson versus Schwager. Step forward.
Erin Knutson is suing her former friend, Amy Schwager, for a loan to bring her boyfriend back from Afghanistan.
Miss Schwager, you met somebody online.
Yes, I did.
Tell me when you met them online, what site you were on, and what the person's name was.
I met a gentleman online on Plenty of Fish.
Where does he live?
He lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And where do you live?
Butterfield, Minnesota.
Had you ever met him personally?
We did video chat, and...
Had you ever met him personally?
No.
And how long have you been a friend of Miss Knutson?
I've known her for several years.
How many?
5, 6 years.
From where?
Butterfield, LaSalle, Minnesota.
I mean, did you know from work, socializing, did you have mutual friends? What kind of work?
Bartending.
Now, this guy that you met online and have been chatting with for 2 years, he traveled out of the country?
Yes, he did.
Where did he go?
He went overseas to Afghanistan, Nigeria.
For what?
Military.
So he's in the military, you think?
Yes.
You think he's in the
I think he's in the military.
And I'm assuming for the purposes of this case, not assuming that for the truth of what you're going to tell me, but only your motivation for asking for money from Miss Knutson. You did ask her for money.
I did.
And she did give you $750.
Correct.
And you sent her $750, and according to you, $2,000 of your money to this person who you had met online who was in Afghanistan.
I had sent him $750 and the rest later.
When?
Approximately 4 months later.
What did you send him the $750?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What's that scam bird that people call you now? You know, I've been kidnapped in Afghanistan, and please send $10,000 to this number, or we're going to send home pieces of the finger. Only thing is, you believed it.
I did, because
you believed it because that's what you wanted to believe.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Erin Knutson is suing her former friend, Amy Schwager, for a loan to bring her boyfriend back from Afghanistan.
You sent her $750, and according to you, $2,000 of your money to this person who you had met online who was in Afghanistan.
I had sent him $750 and the rest later.
The rest when?
Approximately 4 months later.
What did you send him the $750 for that she gave you?
He had been discharged.
You mean he'd been kicked out of the Army?
He had been discharged. I don't know if it was honorably or dishonorably.
Well, if they discharge you, they usually bring you home first. They don't leave you in Afghanistan. They don't say goodbye. Military doesn't say goodbye to you and leave you in Afghanistan.
He had stated to me on an occasion that he was...
This is some government. Get you in the Army, and then they send you thousands of miles away, and then they say, you know, get home on your own. Can you imagine how many volunteers we would have for the Army?
Right.
Okay, so this is what he told you, and you believed him.
I did.
Because you wanted to. Anyway, you took $750 from Miss Knutson. You asked her for it?
Yes.
And why didn't you give it back to her?
She knew clearly that...
Hey, don't tell me what she knew. Don't tell me what she knew.
We had talked about it. The reason I had asked her for $750 was she was going to be getting extra money for sending the money
to Charles. He had stated that he was going to pay her double back. I have evidence. I have.
Listen, women sometimes want to believe, they want to believe so desperately the lies of a mate. This wasn't even a mate. This was somebody that you never even met. This was like, what's that scam bird that people call you now? You know, I've been kidnapped in Afghanistan, and they're holding me for ransom, and they're holding your grandchild for ransom. Please send $10,000 to this number, or we're going to send home pieces of the finger. Or I am here and I have no way to get home. This is please send me $1,000. All in order to collect the $100,000, all you have to do is wire $2,000 into this bank account, and then we'll be able to release the paperwork and send you the other $98,000. Only thing is, you believed it.
I did, because
you believed it because that's what you wanted to believe.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What's that scam bird that people call you now? You know, I've been kidnapped in Afghanistan, and they're holding me for ransom, and please send $10,000 to this number, or we're going to send home pieces of the finger. Only thing is, you believed it.
I did, because
you believed it because that's what you wanted to believe. I mean, I'm listening to your story. I can't get home because I'm in the military, and now I'm no longer in the military, and they told me how to get home by myself. And you say to yourself, really? Really? You have to return the money to her. $750, judgment for the plaintiff.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I don't feel it was my responsibility.
She's refused to pay me back.
Because there was an agreement that
She said on several occasions that she would and just never has.
he would directly pay her back.
So I had to take the next step.
He's been messaging me, and I ignore the messages.
I guess I would have been smarter in the situation.
Because I think he's a scammer.
I didn't realize that she never met him in person.
I honestly don't know. I would like to talk to her about the whole thing.
I mean, I'd like to remain friends, but
maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
It's one of those things I don't know how it will go.
Her family venture really took off.
You have a business, the releasing of doves.
Until her cousin flew the coop.
She had requested to dissolve the relationship.
It's your claim that she has birds that belong to you.
Yes.
She mailed a certified letter to me stating that she wanted supplies and the birds returned.
We are now a year later. How many of the birds do you have?
I don't have any, Your Honor.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Martha Delgado is suing her cousin, Angelica Montgomery, for the value of 11 doves that were stolen.
All rise. It's case number 131 on the calendar, the matter of Delgado versus Montgomery.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Party's been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, folks.
Ms. Delgado, you have a business, and this is my understanding of your business.
Yes.
There are people that enjoy, or by custom, have at certain events the releasing of doves.
Correct.
And you provide those doves,
Yes.
which are trained to release and then come back after they flit around for a while, and then you put them back in boxes like this and take them home.
No. When they're released, they actually go to their homing location.
Okay, so that means that the location of the events must be relatively close.
Not necessarily. My birds have traveled up to 70 miles, and this particular type of bird can actually travel up to 550 miles in a day if they are trained accurately.
That's very interesting. That I didn't know. I've only been to one event where doves were released. It was an unfortunate event. I mean, not the event was a wedding. That was a very happy event.
Right.
But the doves, as they were being moved from the carton that they came in, which was something like this, into the elegant cage where they're supposed to. So I'm sort of familiar, but I didn't know that they could travel that far. In any event, you've been in this business for how long?
15 years. And in relation to what you just mentioned, there are competitors that do not take very well care of their birds. They don't train them as accurately as they should and keep them as healthy as they should.
Well,
and
these
they don't
birds
return.
were, I think these birds were relatively healthy before they got transferred from one box to another. Anyway, that's been your business. And you don't have partners in your business.
My son. And I actually have 4 people that do deliveries only for me, for us.
Miss Montgomery is a cousin of yours.
Yes.
And it is your claim in this lawsuit that she has some birds that belong to you.
Yes,
That
birds.
she wanted to start her own business.
No, that's not correct.
She wanted to go into business with you.
What happened is I introduced my business to her at a barbecue at her home with family.
And
I actually grew
just a
up
second.
with her mother.
I don't need a pedigree.
Okay.
Either she wanted to go into her own business or she wanted to become part of your business.
Yes.
Which is it?
She wanted to help service an area with my birds in her area.
Well, then she was an independent contractor. How was she going to be paid?
I told her I would pay her $50 for crating the birds if she learned how to do the delivery.
What does that mean? $50 for training or crating?
To crate the birds for pickup for a service, and then $50 for the actual delivery. I typically pay $2 a bird. We have 2 locations, 2 lofts, one in Riverside and one in Paris. For outlying areas, I have a couple of businesses, and I've got documentation here if you'd like to see it. $2 a bird for other businesses.
So you have other people.
Yes.
You have other people who work for you as independent contractors. You don't pay workman's comp for them. You don't pay. They're not employees of yours. So she's an independent contractor.
No, she's employed through us because she's under our business. She's not independent.
Well, if she's under your business, do you pay taxes for her?
No, actually, she did not work long enough to be able to do anything.
No, Ms. Delgado.
I-99
Ms. Delgado, you 1099 them? Did you 1099 her last year?
No, because she specifically asked me not to include any of her earnings. The reason she began working with me because she went through a divorce.
Ms. Delgado, you've been in business for a very long time.
Yes.
And I've been alive much longer than you have. And I'm a lawyer. So either she's an employee or an independent contractor.
She's an employee, but I did not 1099 her.
Then you committed a fraud. You don't want to commit a fraud. Do you understand?
Your Honor.
But I don't want you to try to think where you're going with this. If she's not an employee, she's an independent contractor.
Well, the problem is if she was an independent contractor, she wouldn't be holding my birds. She would have her own.
No, now you're trying to, don't play with your papers. Now what you're trying to do is think 10 steps ahead. And where am I going with this? And what I'm telling you, if someone is working for you, if I have a house and I have a caretaker, the caretaker, if he's paid every week, is an employee who has workman's compensation.
You're right.
Who gets paid, who has taxes taken out. If you have an employee that doesn't work for you on a full-time, regular basis, I have a gardener who works for me through a company. They come every week, but they don't work for me. They're their own company, so they're an independent contractor, and they pay their own taxes because they're a company. Do you understand? You can't have a nothing and pay them money.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I understand you. I understood. I could hear you.
You understood me the first time, too. So
Yeah.
she's not an employee. You said, I'll pay you so much per bird for an event, and she did that. Now, it's your claim that she has birds that belong to you.
Yes.
When did you get the birds of last year?
2017, yes.
When did you start releasing the birds for events?
The first event was about 2 weeks later. I had to train them.
Just a second. 2 weeks, you don't train them. First event was 2 weeks later.
Yes.
How much were you paid?
50 for the delivery and 50 for the birds. It was for 4 birds.
Just a second. So you were paid $100 2 weeks later?
Yes, Your Honor.
When did you again work?
In August 2017.
And how much were you paid?
I was paid $100 again for 4 birds. It was $50 for delivery, $50 for the 4 birds.
And when again did you work?
Again in August.
And how much were you paid?
$100 for the 4 birds.
And when again did you work?
In September.
Did you do any after September of 2017?
Yes, I did in November 2000.
In November. How many?
2.
And what about December?
December, it was $100, but she kept that money because I purchased 2 crates from her.
And how many birds do you have altogether?
She gave me 9 birds initially. April 28th of 2018, I had 11 birds stolen, and...
Just a second. She gave you 9 birds.
Yes.
originally
Yes.
that you started to work with within 2 weeks. We are now a year later. How many of the 9 birds do you have?
I don't have any, Your Honor. They were stolen on April 28th. 11 birds and 2 babies. I have a police report.
I see the police report.
And I have pictures too, Your Honor.
God, I thought I was going blind. I'm so glad. It was just dirty.
Your Honor, I also have photos.
When did you call her and let her know that the birds were stolen?
Immediately, as soon as my son told me that they were stolen.
April 28th?
Yes.
Was that the first time you told her that the birds were stolen?
The only time, yes.
Was that the first time that you had any issues with her with regard to returning the birds?
No. In February 27th, she mailed a certified letter to me stating that she wanted supplies and the birds returned, and I responded in March, but the letter was returned to me that she didn't accept it.
So in February, she said that she wanted the birds returned?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
Do you want just her letter, Your Honor, or both?
I want both.
Your Honor, we actually discussed in text. She had requested to dissolve the relationship.
Just a second.
Because...
Don't... I'm not listening to you. I'm reading this. The letter of March, she didn't pick up.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No, that was returned back to me.
Last letter that you received was the one that said she wanted her birds back in February.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. You can return these birds. Now I'm going to look at your text messages.
Okay. Here are the text messages.
Just give them to me.
Okay.
Who's Luther?
Luther is a business out of Los Angeles.
Just a second. Would you return this to her? I don't care about
rents
that.
my birds
Just
for
a second.
$2 a bird. Okay. That's a comparison that...
Okay. All right. I don't need any of this. None of this is from her. Is that correct? Just answer my question. None of these texts are from her.
No.
Would you return these to her, please?
I dropped my phone and lost all of my information. She probably has it if...
Your birds were stolen. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's unfortunate that this has affected our family the way it has.
Because of the birds and what happened here today, it'll probably be a while before we get back together.
I think it'll mend itself.
I hope we can resolve this and move forward.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bowie versus Diop. Step forward.
25-year-old Akila Bowie is suing car salesman Maktar Diop for the return of money she paid for a car or the cost to repair it.
Miss?
Yes.
And you needed a car. The car that you were driving evidently wasn't working anymore. You knew the defendant. He buys and sells cars. You found a car that you were satisfied with, and you made a deal to buy it. So far as those the bare bones of this case?
Bare minimum.
Well, that's what it is. You found a car he was selling. You made a price. The price was?
For the car?
Yes.
$5,500.
And how much did you put down?
$1,500.
And he gave you the car?
Yes.
And you were supposed to make payments to him?
I did make payments.
And how many payments did you make?
3.
In what amounts?
100.
So you paid him an extra $300, $1,800. And while you had the use of this car, which was from when to when?
May 12th, 2018 until I still have the car in possession, but I don't use the car because the car is it's the limit car. It doesn't work. The transmission is...
You took possession of the car on May 12th?
Yes.
And the car is still with you? Is the car still in your possession?
Yes, but I don't use the car.
I don't care whether you use it or not. It's still in your possession.
Yes.
And you want your money back?
Yes.
You don't get that.
Okay, so I met Maktar.
Listen to me.
Okay.
You have a contract? Do you have a contract
no,
for sale?
so here's the thing.
Not here's the thing.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was forced to sign that. We had
a contract.
No, that's...
Well, I'm telling you what the law is. I want to tell you what the law is.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Akila Bowie says car salesman Maktar Diop breached their contract regarding a car. Maktar is countersuing for the unpaid balance.
Okay, do you have a written contract with him? Is my question. Either yes or no. Can I see it? What year car is this, sir?
2012.
What kind of car?
Ford Fiesta.
I was forced to sign that. We had a verbal agreement.
You don't have a verbal agreement when you have a signed contract.
No, that's...
Well, I'm telling you what the law is. I want to tell you what the law is. When you have a signed contract, you don't have a verbal agreement. It states what the property is. It states what the sale price is. It states what the payments are. Do you understand? It states the entire terms of the contract. The seller notifies the buyer, and the buyer acknowledges that the vehicle is being sold as is, without any warranty of any kind regarding the condition of the vehicle. That's the law.
I'm very aware of that.
Good.
But however, when I met Mr. Mektar Diop, which was in late January 2018, I knew he sold cars. I was desperately in need for a car for Uber.
Miss Bowie, I
got
don't
a car
care.
for him.
Listen to me.
I got a car.
I don't care. I don't care.
He totally was like very manipulative with the situation.
Good.
Like,
I don't care.
He like made the situation
I have other
seem
things.
like...
I have other things to do.
I understand, Judge. Can you just please hear me out? Is it possible if I can just let you know my story?
I'm telling you what. Listen to me. I'm telling you what the law is.
I need to like really let you know exactly what happened in the situation. It's like ridiculous. So the situation is, when I met him, I knew he sold. When I met him, he told me he sold cars. I really needed a car to drive Uber. The agreement was, if I pay him once I pay him for the car every week, that the repairs for the cars will be done. I wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Who gonna sell you?
No.
I wouldn't have to worry.
I'm giving her exactly 2 minutes, and then I'm saying goodbye to her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He knew that I was unemployed. The only way he was going to get paid is if the car was in working condition so I could work and use the car. I was unable to pay because the car was not working.
Now I've heard enough, because I'm entitled to the car.
I have to file for it and get it and request it through the mail.
He gave her $1,000 for the car.
Yes.
She has the car.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't know whether she's afoot or horseback. She has no clue.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Akila Bowie says car salesman Mektar Diop breached their contract regarding a car. Mektar is countersuing for the unpaid balance.
Go ahead.
I needed the car from him so I could work for Uber. He knew that I was unemployed. The only way he was going to get paid is if the car was in working condition so I could work and use the car to work for Uber so I can pay him. I was unable to pay because the car was not working. I left the car with him in the shop, and I came back, and it was even worse than it was when I brought it to him. I took it to AutoZone. The catalytic converter was shot, and that was a week after, 8 days later, after May 12th. On May 20th, the car was acting up already. I decided to go on with the situation because I was in desperate need of the car. Like, I have bills I have to pay, and also, like, I really needed the car. So we made an agreement that the repairs will be fixed once I sign the paper that you are looking at, Judge. I start making the payments. I start calling him about everything that was wrong with the car after they changed it.
Now I've heard enough, because I have other things to do today. Where is the car?
With her.
Good. Okay. Now you have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is for the balance due on the car.
Yes.
Which is $3,700.
Yes.
Judgment for the defendant on the counterclaim for $3,700. We're done.
Are you serious?
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It got very weird and creeped out, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Look at me. I'll deal with classy women, not that type.
Tried to make it seem like I had to give up something for him to repair the car.
I will not stop helping people, but I will choose who to help and who not.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cam versus Everhart. Step forward.
21-year-old Gabrielle Cam is suing her former friend, 22-year-old Jenna Eberhardt, for the return of money she paid for a car but wasn't able to register. Jenna is countersuing for damage to the vehicle and a car key.
Miss Cam, you've known the defendant for a long time. She had a car that she wasn't using. She offered to sell it to you because you needed a car to get back and forth to work.
Yes.
According to you, she sold you the car for $1,000.
Yes.
And you gave her the $1,000.
Yes.
She told you you'd be getting the title.
Yes.
According to you, you never got the title, and it turns out that on the car in the amount of...
There's not a lien on it was for a couple months where it was financed, where I didn't have full coverage insurance.
How much, when you sold her the car and she took possession of it, how much was owed on the car?
About $400 or $500 still.
And you don't know how much? I mean, you knew you were coming to court today. That is a figure that you couldn't get.
No, because the balance is 0 now. So I called. I've been calling, trying to get some information, and it said it's paid off. So they don't have a record of any balance anymore. I actually am not sure. I wasn't able to get any. I called the title company, the Alliance, where it was. They said that I don't know the balance on it.
Where is the car?
It's in front of my house.
Is what you're telling me the car's in front of your house and you have no idea who paid off the loan on the car? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Is what you're telling me the car's in front of your house and you have no idea who paid off the loan on the car? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know if it got written off. I didn't know that there was still that amount left until I looked into it recently before Gabby, because I just recently had a baby, and so we needed another car. And so I was going to sell that one and get the 2 other ones that we had and get another car. But Gabby had wrecked her car as a title to my car.
Why?
Because there was still a lien on it from previously, but then the balance is 0 as of, I'm not sure when they
Well, then where's the title to the car?
The company, I have to file for it and get it and request it through the mail.
You gave her $1,000 for the car?
Yes.
She has the car.
Yes, she does.
She doesn't know whether she's a foot or horseback. She has no clue. I don't know how she's taking care of a child.
I'm actually a really great mother, so you don't need to
Judgment
talk
for the
to me.
plaintiff in the amount of $1,000, which is what you gave her.
Yes.
For the car. Goodbye. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I sold it to her for $1,000. She completely wrecked it.
I have no idea what she means because I received it in fairly poor condition.
I hope Gabby does good, but I mean, I don't want her in my life, I guess.
She's just not an honest person, so.
First, the student took the blame.
You tell me what you told the police.
I said that I broke the phone.
But now accuses a bully.
He picked the phone up and smashed it. He's like a mean kid, so I just kept my mouth shut.
Then another story from Dad.
He said he didn't do it, but they said if he...
You hear the police say that to him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michael Huckabee is suing Shantika Lynch and her ex-husband, Melvin Wilson, for the value of an iPhone that was broken by their son.
Order. All rise. It's case number 224 on the calendar in the matter of Huckabee versus Lynch Wilson. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Mr. Huckabee, it is your claim that the defendant's son is responsible for the destruction of your daughter's iPhone in school.
Yes.
And his parents seem to have one of 2 alternate defenses. The first defense is that he was only one of 2 boys who was responsible for the phone, and you're picking on him because you couldn't get the other boy too. And the second defense is that she shouldn't have had a phone in school anyway. That's your second defense.
Yes,
Now, is your last name Wilson?
it is.
And Mr. Wilson, since you volunteered that that was the second defense, is that the defense that you think is appropriate, or?
Situation of what they're saying didn't happen the way they said it happened.
I just want to know who came up with that defense. She wasn't supposed to have a phone in school anyway.
That was just a school policy.
Not as the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, so I can eliminate
Yeah,
that.
just, yes.
So I can eliminate that defense. She wasn't supposed to have a phone in school anyway.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Tell me your name.
Stockton Wilson?
First name?
Stockton.
Do you know this young lady?
Yes.
How many years have you gone to school with her?
Maybe 2.
Do you like her?
I like her, I guess.
Good. Do you take a phone to school?
No.
Because it's against the rules.
Yeah, or it's not against the rules to take a phone to school, but to have it out during school hours is against the rules.
Yeah. Do you remember the day that her phone got misplaced?
No.
Do you remember the incident?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me your version of the incident?
So-
Right here. Not there, right here.
So after 6th period in my Spanish class, I saw a phone on the floor, and everyone had left, and the period was over.
So, you saw a phone on the floor
I picked it up.
and picked it up.
Yes, and I was
And
asking
where did you put it?
I had it in my hand, and I was asking people, do you know whose phone this is, or you know the owner, or anything like that. So Isaiah comes in and says, oh, that's my phone. And
Isaiah?
Yes.
Do you know him?
Yes.
Is he a friend of yours?
No.
Do you like him?
No.
So Isaiah came in to where? Into what room?
No, I was outside during the quad asking people as they were going to their class during 7th period. He came up to me and said, hey, that's my phone, and he tried to grab it out of my hand, and it dropped on the floor. And then he picked the phone up and smashed it and threw it in the trash.
Now, there came a time when somebody from the principal's office discussed this phone with you.
Yes.
And did you tell the principal the same story?
Yes. Or no, because they interviewed me with police.
They interviewed you with police. And when they interviewed you with the police, what did you tell the police happened?
They told me that if I didn't...
No, don't tell me what they told you. You tell me what you told the police.
I said that I broke the phone.
And did you tell them how you broke the phone?
I said I just threw it on the floor.
Inside or outside?
Outside.
Did you tell them why you threw it on the floor?
No.
Did you mention Isaiah's name?
Yes.
To the police?
Yes.
What did you tell them Isaiah did?
I said Isaiah tried to grab the phone out of my hand, and that's when it broke or cracked the first time. And I said that I threw it on the floor.
A second time?
Yes.
Yes. Did either of you get suspended from school?
No.
Did the police speak to you before or after you spoke to your parents?
Before.
After the police spoke to you, you went home?
Yeah.
Who was the first person you spoke to, your mother or your father?
I think I spoke to my mother the day after because my mom comes home late and I didn't get the chance to talk to her.
Who do you live with?
My mom.
So who watches you after school?
My grandma's there too.
And when you went home from school that day, did you tell your grandmother what had happened?
No.
So you waited until the next day to speak to your mother?
Yes.
Did you tell your mother what happened?
Yes.
What did you tell your mother?
I told my mom that the police interviewed me and they questioned me and told me that if I didn't, tell them that I broke the phone, then they said I would be going to jail.
You know that I don't believe that. That's very hard for me to believe that. How old are you?
12.
That a policeman would say, if you don't say I broke the phone, you're going to jail.
He said that he would put criminal charges on my record.
First of all, that's different from saying you're going to go to jail. Did you tell your mom that the police told you were going to go to jail or you would have criminal charges on your record?
Both.
And what about your dad? When did you speak to him?
Maybe Sunday. That's when we go to church and I get the chance to talk to him.
What'd you tell him?
That the police interviewed me and...
So far, it's not the police's problem, though, what happened with the phone. Let's not get the police involved with what happened with the phone. Police weren't there when her phone got broken, okay? So let us separate with the police and what happened with her phone, okay?
Okay, so...
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
There's the act of her losing her phone and then her phone getting destroyed. Second thing, which you seem to be concentrating on, is that the police spoke to you without your parents present and threatened you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But let's you and I concentrate on what happened with her phone. Now, when was the first time you saw Isaiah?
After 6th period, when he approached me and tried to grab the phone out of my hand, saying it was his.
And when did you see him again after this? What day did you see him again?
The first day that we came back from winter break.
Oh, so then you went on winter break?
Yes.
And have you spoken to Isaiah about the phone?
No.
Didn't say anything to him when you came back from winter break about the phone?
No.
And about you getting blamed for the phone?
No.
That sounds strange to me. Doesn't that sound strange to you?
Isaiah is he's like a mean kid, and I didn't want really any problems with him, so I just kept my mouth shut.
When you say Isaiah is a mean kid, does he give other kids problems?
Sometimes.
Like what?
He's been in fights at my...
Thank you. May I see the school report, please? All right, Mr. Wilson, now I have some questions for you.
Okay.
You called Isaiah's parents?
No, I haven't been able to.
Did you attempt to contact them?
They wouldn't give me his full name. I didn't know exactly who the person was.
All right, this is a week later, and the school contacted you or the police contacted you?
The police contacted me. The school never contacted me.
Miss Lynch, I'm going to tell you like I told your son. I'm separating this thing into two incidents. One involves the taking and destruction of this young girl's phone. The other involves whether the principal and or the police did everything correctly. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
I'm not here to evaluate whether the police or the principal or the authorities from school did everything correctly. I'm here to determine whether your son was at least in part responsible for the destruction of this young lady's phone. Do you get that?
Yes, I do.
Good. And that's what I want your head to concentrate, like the police or the school principal, but whether your son did something bad for which he should take responsibility. Do you get that?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Now, it appears from this that you told Mr. Huckabee that you would give him $400 in cash, that's according to the police, for the phone. That was over a week later. Did you tell the authorities that you would give Mr. Huckabee $400 for the phone? Or is this police report inaccurate?
It's
just very careful.
Okay. I did agree to give money for the phone because the police showed up at my house telling me that.
Again, we're making it the police's fault.
I'm not making this about the police. But what I'm saying is that the first time I heard about this officially was from the police when they showed up at my door.
No, the first time you heard about it officially, based upon what your son told me, was the next day when he told you, and then there was winter break. That's when you first heard about it.
Yes, but we did not have the complete story about.
Just a second.
What happened with the phone?
Well, you had the complete version from your 12-year-old child the very next day, whether it was truthful or not, the very next day. So if what you're saying to me is that a child of yours committed a very bad act, and I'm not putting that in this circumstance, I'm talking about a very bad act, and if they tell you about it immediately, or you find out, you find blood on their clothes or stolen property in your house, and they tell you about it, and then the police, for whatever reason, don't conduct an investigation appropriately, that does not diminish the fact that there was a wrongful act done.
I understand.
And that's for you, too. The fact that you weren't officially told until a week later when somebody came and told you, as far as I'm concerned, you pick up the phone as soon as you have the conversation with your child. You say, give me the name of the person whose phone you were involved with, and I'm going to contact them and make this right.
Absolutely.
That's not what you did.
Well, it was the beginning of spring break. The next day, there was no school. So it was the weekend.
So what?
So who do I contact? The school
is
not open.
He knows the boy's name.
Well, we don't have the boy's phone number. My son does not have a phone. We don't have his phone number.
Do you have a phone?
I don't know his parents.
Second. Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You had nothing but time to get Isaiah's information.
From where? The school does not give us that information.
Mr. Wilson, again, it's somebody else's fault.
It is.
And no, it's his fault and Isaiah's fault.
And later today.
She knew.
I don't care. If you're going through a difficult time,
we had an agreement.
Listen to me. If you don't have money, you don't get Botox.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Huckabee is accusing 12-year-old Stockton Wilson of breaking his daughter's iPhone.
Okay, what I'm telling you is you had nothing but time to get Isaiah's information.
From where? From who? The school does not give us that information.
Wilson, again, it's somebody else's fault.
It is.
And no, it's his fault and Isaiah's fault. That's what this says, and if you read between the lines, that's what he told me. And according to this, Isaiah threw it, but he also threw it.
He was made to say that, though, and that's very important.
Mr. Wilson, understand something. He was involved.
He wasn't involved. His only involvement was picking up the phone, trying to find the rightful owner, someone coming up to him, bullying him, taking the phone, throwing it on the ground, him being taken to the office and being accused of something that they know he didn't do. But they said if he did not say he did it, then he would be arrested.
Just a second. Did you hear the police say that to him?
I did not have to hear it.
Just a second.
Your Honor.
No,
I'm asking you if you...
I did not hear the police say that, nor was I even able to be in the room with him. Right.
Just a second. Just a second. Mr. Wilson, I'm not disagreeing with you that if a parent was not present, a 12-year-old should not be questioned by the police.
They never called us. I'm sorry.
Just a second. You're not following me.
I'm following very close.
No, you're not following me, Mr. Wilson, because a 12-year-old who's smart, and your son isn't stupid, is he?
No,
he's very intelligent.
very intelligent. If I found a phone on the floor, I would take the phone and take it to a teacher, walk it to the principal's office and say, I just found this phone on the floor.
Well, the reason why...
No, you're going to give me the reason why now?
Well, what my son said to me was that most of the kids that are in his 6th period are in his 7th period. So he was asking around on his way to 7th period to see if he could give the phone back.
And what I'm telling you is...
Isaiah in the process.
What I'm telling you is, you can make 1,000,001 excuses.
Sure.
And what you're doing is saying, it's the police's fault? It's the principal's fault?
That's not what I'm saying.
It's the holidays' fault?
No.
It's the fault that we didn't have. It's everybody else's fault.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what we're saying.
I'm saying he could have made a different decision, but at the end of the day, he had no malicious intent, and it wasn't his fault. That someone took the phone and threw it on the ground.
You've just crept into his mind, Mr. Wilson.
I know how he
Lynch,
was raised.
Just a second. Miss Lynch told exactly what she's going to do. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $400. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They only talked to me and blamed everything on me.
Happy that it's over with.
He was trying to be a good Samaritan.
He actually was very apologetic and initially took responsibility for what his son did.
It's in the past now.
Don't take things that don't belong to you.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Vieira versus Barber, step forward.
Diane Vieira is suing her former friend, Adrian Barber, for a credit card bill, hotel bill, and a trampoline.
I'm going to start with you, Miss Barber. The plaintiff and you were friends. She's suing you for some money that she says you owe her as a result of a variety of little loans or little incidents. She says that you owe her for money that was spent on some sort of a medical care card. What was that about? Tell me.
We had got that medical card, like I said, together, yes.
How do you get a card together?
She was a co-signer.
What does that mean?
We got a card, and she
Why didn't you
co-signed.
get your own card?
I didn't have the credit.
And you wanted facials?
Yeah.
What else did you want?
We were going to get both.
Not we.
We were
Not
getting.
we.
We were
when
getting
you get
Botox.
facials, there's only one person in the machine. When you get Botox, there's only one person that gets stuck.
Yeah.
A letter from a collections company through a jointly named credit card doesn't help me. You got it? I'm just telling you, it's your responsibility. You're the plaintiff. You're supposed to get it all together.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Diane Vieira is suing her former friend, Adrian Barber, for a credit card bill, hotel bill, and a trampoline.
Did you get facials?
No.
Did you get Botox?
Yes.
How much was the Botox?
I think $450.
How much was her Botox?
Your Honor, I don't know the exact prices because once the care card was approved, it was on her to charge it.
Did you charge anything on the credit card?
Hers? No.
On hers?
No.
Can
I
I
had
see?
my own.
Can I see her bills?
All I have, Your Honor, is the bill, the collection.
That doesn't do it for me. Sorry. That
Your
doesn't do
Honor,
it for me. That doesn't do it for me.
Okay,
the
Your
collections
Honor.
letter doesn't do it for me.
But Your Honor.
Here, listen to me. You get a bill. It delineates what it was for.
I didn't get the bills. She got them because she's the primary holder on the card, Your Honor.
So you co-signed for her.
Correct.
To get only in her name.
No, it's
Is that
also in
collection?
mine.
Then I can't help you.
Why?
Because I don't know what you did and what she did.
I didn't charge on hers.
What I'm telling you is, I'm trying to help you. I'm here to look at your evidence. A letter from a collections company for a jointly named credit card doesn't help me. It is insufficient evidence. You got it? I'm just telling you, it's your responsibility. You're the plaintiff. You're supposed to get it all together. You're supposed to call the credit card company and say to them, I need an outline of what was spent on the card that she had, and I know what I spent on my card.
But my card was separate from hers.
Good. Okay. I can't help you other than to say she says she spent $450 on Botox, which she has to pay for.
But she hasn't paid.
But
just a second.
We had an agreement that she knew I was not working at the time. I was going through a difficult time.
Just I don't care. If you're going through a difficult
we
time,
had an
don't
agreement.
listen to me. If you don't have money, you don't get Botox. You buy food, you take care of your children if you have them, but you don't spend somebody else's money to get Botox.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow.
Let's get to the trampoline. When was it purchased?
It was in November, Your Honor, of 2016.
A year ago. 2 years ago.
Yes. We were at Old Stump Brewery
I don't
having
care.
the beer, Your Honor.
I don't, listen to me, I don't care. All right, next. I have $450 for Botox. What's next?
Your
You're not
Honor,
friends
let
anymore.
me finish talking about this.
I'm telling you to, I'm telling you to go.
Can I say
I'm telling you to
something?
go next.
But it was for her kids.
Next.
It was for your
next,
kid, too.
Next.
But you
Miss
said
Vieira?
you were going to pay it back.
How was I going to pay it back when you knew I wasn't working
Do you want
and
me to
didn't have a
dismiss your
job?
case? You have one other bill.
So we went to Vegas for her daughter's cheer competition, Your Honor, and she agreed to pay half of the hotel stay, which she never paid.
And how much was the room?
It ended up being
Not ended up. How much was the-
$349.
$350 for the room.
Correct.
Okay, that's $175 for her.
Correct.
That's $625 for Botox and half her room. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Glad it's done. It's over.
I was tired of her taking advantage of my generosity.
Honestly, I think it's more of a jealousy issue.
I don't know what I'm jealous of.
I'm just glad.
I'm like, dude, what's your problem?
Well, you already know what his problem is. He's drunk and acting stupid.
Behind the wheel after a night out.
So you're arguing with each other, and you both had been drinking.
Then their fight.
He's in my face. I pushed him.
Went into overdrive.
He punches me in the side of the face twice.
He stopped the car on the freeway.
He mushed you. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
25-year-old Aaron Gale is suing his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, for assaulting him during a ride home from a club.
Order. All rise. It's case number 189 on the calendar in the matter of Gale versus Briscoe.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Mr. Gale, you and Mr. Briscoe used to be friends. You had an altercation. You each claimed that the other assaulted you.
Correct.
You want to tell me the date of this incident, where you were, and when it started?
So the incident of the assault happened on July 26th on the freeway. Yes.
What time?
Approximately about 2:30 to 2:40, about 2:30.
In the morning?
Yes.
And you had both been at a bar, club, or whatever, and
Yes.
both had been drinking?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You were driving?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you had been drinking?
Yes.
You were sitting in the back seat?
I was sitting in the middle row. He has a SUV that has 3 rows. I was sitting in the middle row. In the middle seat. He was sitting in the driver's seat.
Was anybody sitting next to you?
No.
Was anybody in the third row?
No.
Was anybody in the passenger seat, sir?
No, Your Honor.
So it was just the two of you in the car?
Correct.
And I don't know why you got in the back of the car, sir, if it was just the two of you. Were you very drunk?
I definitely was drinking, but I was very cognizant of everything that was going on.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
So, well, I like to be logical. So if your friend is giving you a ride home, even though he's been drinking and shouldn't be behind the wheel, it would seem to me you would sit next to him in the passenger seat, not in...
So basically when I'm in an Uber or something, I always like to sit in like the back. That's just kind of my preference in the middle row.
Okay. And you got into an argument.
Correct.
Now he's driving, right?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
So basically at the club...
Don't give me basically. Basically is a filler word.
Sorry. So at the club, there was a cocktail of choice that him and his cousins were drinking. They immediately took offense, and so I dismissed myself shortly after, and I went to another space. The venue is very big, so there was plenty of other place for me to intermingle. After the club let out, I actually was going to get myself a ride. Mr. Briscoe approached me.
You were going to give yourself a ride how?
Uber or Lyft.
Okay.
So then he approached me and asked me, would he like to take me home? I said, yeah, that's fine. I have no problem being dropped off, because when the club lets out, fares are higher because everyone's leaving at once.
Don't give me a whole long story. I don't have the time. Right now I'm dealing with 2 drunks.
Okay.
And one of them is driving.
So basically, I agreed.
No, basically.
Sorry. I agreed, and so I went in the car. So during the incident of the drive, he expressed to me about the joke I made and how he felt like I was rude, and so that's when I was annoyed, and I expressed to him that, hey, I don't know them, I've barely known you, you've known me to have this jovial, sarcastic personality.
You're having this whole discussion.
Yes.
You're having this like you're having with me. I'm just curious.
Well,
you want me to believe that you're having a discussion? You know, I'm a jovial guy.
I was more aggressive with it because I was annoyed. But
you were more aggressive.
Yes, I was I was slightly
Not basically.
Cursing. Sorry.
I don't want you to tell me basically.
Sorry.
I want you to tell me. So now we're beyond I'm a jovial guy into I was slightly more verbally aggressive.
Yes.
So I would like you to tell me.
He was yelling in my ear, Your Honor.
I would like you to tell me.
So I told him that you always know me to be this sarcastic person. I don't really care what they think. I don't really care about what you think, and that I don't have to meet them or know them. You introduced them to me. And so that point I was annoyed. When I got angry was when he specifically started instructing me on what I should have said, and he basically, he told me.
All right, so you're arguing with each other.
Right.
And you're both angry, and you both had been drinking. How does your head get in between his hand and the middle seat in the back?
So what he does is that he has his steering wheel, and he takes his right hand while he's driving, and he smacks me lightly, but still to the point to where it was in my face.
Just a second. How do you do that? Now, I have an SUV that has a back seat, and when they build those seats so that you actually can't whip your hand around and crack your kid when you're driving and they're screaming. So you can't do that.
Right.
Were you in his face?
No.
So he took his hand off the steering wheel and went back and pushed your face back. How far back did he push your face?
He didn't push my face, he just hit me in the head.
Like this?
Yes, with his right hand. So then I got...
Go ahead.
So then I got mad and I hit him back twice.
How did you hit him back twice?
I hit him back twice, hard, 1, 2.
On what?
On his face.
On his head?
Yes.
Well, his face wasn't turned towards you, so he's driving.
Yeah.
So you had to hit him on his head?
Yes. So then I said, don't ever touch me again and let me out of the car.
Okay.
So then he let me out of the car.
He stopped the car?
He stopped the car on the freeway.
And you got out?
I got out. Then he got out of the car and called my name twice, and I continued walking. Then he came up from behind me, sucker punched me when I turned around, and then he tackled me to the ground, sat on top of me, and began swinging at my face continuously for a good minute to about 1:15. Then someone else came up in another car. I couldn't recognize their voice. I didn't see them because the whole time I was shielding my face. Not only that, he's about 6'4", about 275 pounds. If he's sitting on me, I can't move. My medical records show that.
Just a second. You started to tell me, sir, that another car stopped.
Yes, it was a white car behind him, and they said, yo, stop, you gotta get off him, we gotta go, we gotta go. I can't be here, you can't be here. Then Nathaniel stood over me and made an expression of, you said all those things to me because you know I like you, and why would you do that? And then he got in his car, his friend or cousin got in their car, and they drove off and left me there. Then I walked about 30 minutes to the nearest downtown exit, to where someone in an office building at that time with a clear door saw my contusions. My face was very messed up. They called the ambulance, they brought me in, and I have a full ophthalmology report about everything they did from the moment I was admitted.
Let's go.
Okay, so it did happen on the night of July 25th, the morning of July 26th. We were at the club, we were drinking. I did not get upset with him talking about the drink.
I don't care. Get in the car. Now you're in the car. You're driving.
We're in the car. I asked him why didn't he get in the front seat. He's never gotten in the back seat in my car before, and so he's just like, well, I ain't feel like sitting up there, and so he's already aggressive, and I'm just like, he was like, your cousin's ratchet, your brother's ratchet, and I'm just like, ratchet how?
Don't use like or basically.
Well, he said that they were ratchet, and I asked him how are they ratchet. Well, they drink Hennessy.
What? Ratchet?
Yeah, ghetto.
What does that mean? Do you know? Is that a young?
Ghetto. You were drinking a drink Hennessy and cranberry. He thinks it's a ratchet drink, and it's whatever. It's their choice of a drink. So he's continuing to... he's continuing to, like, argue, and I'm like, stop being disrespectful to my brother and my cousin. They drink what they drink. That doesn't make them ratchet. He goes, you're not going to tell me what to do. I was like, well, I'm dropping you off at home. Like, let's just be quiet until then. And he goes and says, you're not going to tell me what to do. And I'm like...
Can you speak without using the word like?
Like is my filler word.
I know, but we're going to not use it here because it's irritating. And then I have editors that I have to pay to take out the word like, because nobody out there wants to hear the word like.
I told him, like, just be quiet. I'm taking you home. Like, we don't have to talk, like, ever after this or whatever. And then we're driving southbound on the 163, not northbound. And he's in my face, like, in my face. And I, like, pushed him away from me because he's in the middle part. I have pictures of how big my car is. He punches me in the side of the face twice. I tell him to get out. He punches my passenger side window. I'm like, dude, what's your problem? Like, what's going on? Outside of the car.
That's not true.
Outside of the car.
I don't want to hear you.
And so, like, I'm trying to resolve this. Showed him, I, like, turn him around, like, what's his problem?
Just a second here.
Stop using like.
No, listen to me. Now you stop the car.
Yes.
And he gets out.
And punches my driver's side window.
Punches your driver's side window.
Not driver's side, passenger side window. I'm sorry,
Passenger side window. Doesn't break it.
And I asked him, what's his problem?
Good. Well, you already know what his problem is. He's drunk and he was acting stupid. And then what? I
get out and I ask him, what's your problem?
Why did you get out of the car?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Why did you get out of the car?
I was trying to figure out what was...
Okay. Now you're out of the car.
I'm out of the car.
And?
I grab his shoulder.
So you grabbed him.
I grab his shoulder and I'm like...
Now, let me explain to you. Up until that point, he was the aggressor. I'm finding that he did, in fact, punch you, that you mushed his face to get back. You didn't hit him, not even he says you hit him. You pushed him to get back because he was drunk and being stupid and arguing about nonsense. And then he acknowledges he punched you twice in the head. Terrible. And if you were turned around and clocked him at that moment, perfectly fine. But then there's a break in the theater. And the break is you stop, you tell him to get out, he gets out of the car. What you do is, right now you're not injured. You drive away, go home, sober up. But now you get out of the car and...
It wasn't like I like grabbed his shoulder, but it wasn't like aggressive. I'm like, hey.
Your Honor, I have...
I don't want to hear you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What I'm telling you is, I'm accepting what you tell me. Okay. You hit him first. He mushed you. No injury. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad.
And later today...
Did you pay any of this money back to her?
First payment was not actually due to the end of the following month. Once she discovered the payment of the card, she discontinued the cards. She cut them off.
So what does that have to do with my question?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Aaron Gale says his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, assaulted him during an argument while driving home from a night of drinking.
Go ahead.
I'm like, hey, what's wrong? And so when I did that, he swung on me again, and then he punched me in my left shoulder, and that's when I punched him in the face. I never sat on him at all. I didn't tackle him to the ground.
Let me tell you what your defense is. Your defense is he started the fight, I finished it, and if you start a fight and if you get the tail end of the fight, then that's your problem. Your problem is that the action stopped without anybody being hurt. Not even your car was injured. It didn't escalate to me, his injuries, and it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't gotten out of your car.
I had a moment, a lapse in judgment at the moment.
Good. That's what happens. And you have a lapse in judgment, and unfortunately, you shouldn't be driving a car if you've been drinking, because most lapses of judgment occur when they're blurred by something else. Alcohol, drugs, something. I mean, you can have a lapse in judgment when you're sober, but you're more likely to have a lapse in judgment when you don't have judgment, because it wasn't good judgment to get behind the wheel of a car. Okay, now let me see the medical report and photographs of your injuries, please.
The police department would not release the photographs to me without a subpoena, but I do have the ophthalmology report, the medical record, the medical bills that equal over $27,000, and also the victim compensation board that explains everything that happened as well. Also, the injuries don't constitute a single blow to the face.
Listen to me. I've explained the law to him. You hit him first. You were drinking. He was drinking.
Your Honor, may I say one thing? Also, that's not the same thing he told to the restraining order hearing, and that's why I have a restraining order on him. We had a previous story in court. Mine was still the same, and she granted me a restraining order against him.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Just a second. What I'm telling you is I'm accepting what you tell me.
Okay.
You hit him first. He mushed you. No injury. You hit him twice. First.
I didn't like being touched.
Well, that's too bad. It doesn't excuse him. When the action stops and he had the opportunity to get away from somebody who was drunk and had hit him, he should have been smart enough to do it. And it was, as he says, a lapse in judgment. They charged you $20,000 for 1 day in the hospital for a black eye?
It was more than just a black eye, Your Honor.
You didn't have any medical insurance, is that right?
I did. I put it to them. The Victims' Compensation Board is supposed to be the first one to clear everything because I was considered the victim of a violent crime. And then I have to consult my insurance after that.
So I actually don't know how much of these bills are going to be covered by insurance.
Right.
Okay.
So, and I don't really know either because the application
I don't know either.
is still
Then maybe
pending.
you're a little premature.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
Did you ever pay her back?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Once I discovered that was an authorized user, I had actually no financial...
I don't understand what you're talking about, sir.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Aaron Gale says his ex-boyfriend, Nathaniel Briscoe, assaulted him during an argument while driving home from a night of drinking.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Briscoe? You have these two people here.
Two witnesses.
Well, there was nobody else in the car.
He said that my brother or my cousin, that's part of his story that he's saying, showed up. My brother and my cousin were with them.
Doesn't matter. What does that matter? You had an error in judgment.
Yes.
And he was injured as a result of your error in judgment. And your error in judgment has to cost you something. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. That's it. We're done.
Why is your excuse? You may step out.
I'm just happy that this is over with and I don't have to deal with him any longer.
Did I throw the first blow? Possibly.
You're not gonna just hit me and get away with it.
But he definitely shouldn't have touched me, and I felt uncomfortable with that anyway.
Don't take drunk people home.
It's an angry girl. There are victims in there, but on the streets, they're thugs.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dixon versus Thompson. Step forward.
Jessica Dixon is suing her former friend, Monte Thompson, for unauthorized credit card charges and the
defendant.
It was towards the end of 2017. We met online.
And when did you decide to live together?
I moved in with him January of 2018.
You took a lease on together?
No, I never signed the lease agreement, no.
Is that correct, Mr. Thompson?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still living in the apartment?
Yes, I am.
When did Miss Dixon move out of the apartment?
She moved out in March.
And you're still there?
Yes, ma'am. Barely.
Good. And the lease is in your name?
It is.
Great. And I want you to tell me about using her credit card. Under what circumstances did you use her credit card?
Actually, to pay a lawyer fee.
How much?
$4,000.
How did you get her credit card?
It was not actually her credit card. It was my credit card, ma'am.
We were actually, he's a co-applicant, so we were on the credit card together.
Why?
Well, prior to moving in, we came to the agreement that by me adding him to a couple of my credit cards would help build his credit, because I had good credit at the time, and he had the income. So it was pretty much for a business venture. He was going to auctions to buy cars and then flip them. That was the reason for us moving in together, to help build credit.
I don't know whether that is the reason you moved in together or not. However, I'd like to see the charge on the credit card for $4,000. And what did you have to pay the lawyer for?
I was going through a custody battle with my daughter. Agreed that I would be the only one to use that card.
That's not true.
Just a
The
second.
car that he was
Just a
using...
Just hold on a second. That was in March of this year.
Yes.
Did you pay any of this money back to her?
Actually, first payment was not actually due to the end of the following month. She actually, once she discovered the payment of the card, she discontinued the cards. She cut them off.
What does that have to do with my question?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, this is your custody, your kid, your lawyer. Did you ever pay her back?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Why? Is because we had an arrangement. We had an agreement. See, first off, we agreed that I would be added as an authorized user to her card. Once I discovered that was an authorized user, I had actually no financial responsibility to pay it back. I brought this to Jessica's attention. and let her know about the Legion card. I said, Jessica, listen, I said, good thing that it's me. But I said, but if anybody else you would have done this to could have led you in a bad situation.
I don't understand what the hell you're talking about, sir. That's a lot of double talk. You think that you can get away with double talk with me? I asked her whether you ever paid her back the $4,000.
Didn't have the opportunity. She packed up and she left, and she stuck.
$1,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Balance of the money that I had to spend for the lease, she agreed to pay the credit card off herself.
We didn't have any agreement on me paying that.
She initially wanted a relationship.
I wasn't going there for relationship purposes.
She definitely wasn't my type at all.
I want no contact with this guy.
Are the kids across the street trouble?
They pushed my son.
And you saw these two boys vandalizing your car.
The oldest one hit my vehicle. The youngest one kicked.
Or is the problem closer to home?
Who broke the car?
Calvin did.
Tell me how that happened.
With a stick.
And the judge's bottom line.
You both allowed your young children to be outside unattended.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tykeisha Johnson is suing her neighbor, Nakia McDonald, for damage to her car caused by her sons and punitive damages for bullying.
Order. All rise. It's case number 218 on the calendar in the matter of Johnson versus McDonald.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Miss Johnson, how many children do you have?
3.
How old are they?
12, 4, and 1.
And this is the 4-year-old?
Yes.
On what date do you claim that Mrs. McDonald's 2 little boys damaged your car?
April 11th.
And you also claim that they were bullying your little boy?
Yes.
What time did this happen?
April 11th around 5:24.
Who was at home?
Me, my mother, and my children.
Where was your mother?
In the living room.
Where was your 12-year-old?
In the living room.
Where was your 1-year-old?
In the living room.
Are your houses close together?
3 houses apart, across the street.
So they're across the street from each other?
Correct.
What was your son doing outside alone?
He was outside in my front yard.
What was he doing outside alone?
My daughter was in the door. She was in the living room in the door.
No, that's baloney. You said your mother and your daughter were in the living room.
Correct.
So nobody was outside with him.
Okay, correct.
How old was he when you let him go outside by himself, unsupervised?
He was outside by my porch. He was literally outside.
You get where I'm going?
Yes,
I mean,
do.
If he was on your porch, you mean these 2 boys came up on your porch?
Correct.
You didn't see that?
I did.
No, you didn't.
I was in my living room.
No, and you saw that?
Yes.
That they came up on the porch?
Yes, I don't have a big house. I don't have a big house, Your Honor.
I'm going to read you your complaint.
Okay.
That you signed and you swore to.
Okay.
I thought I was losing my mind that you were now in the living room with your daughter and your mother, who were in the living room now with the doorway.
Okay.
I had just stepped out of the shower. Is your shower in your living room?
It is not.
And I saw the boys vandalizing my car through the window.
Yes.
Well, that all happened on the same day, at the same time.
It did.
So if your shower wasn't in the living room, how could you be in the living room with your mother and your daughter?
Because when the incident occurred between the 2 boys, I was in the living room. When they vandalized my vehicle was matters later. After I had went and got in the shower, when I stepped out of the shower, they were at my vehicle. That's why.
Where was your son when they were vandalizing your car?
In my front yard.
So you know that this is not going to work out well for you.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
No, you're not misunderstanding. You're lying. There's a difference between misunderstanding and lying.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
Okay.
So is what you're telling me, you first observed your son being bullied by these 2 boys and push him down, and then you went up to take a shower and left him out on the front porch with the boys. And then your shower, and you saw these 2 boys vandalizing your car. That's what you're telling me. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. So let's start out with the premise that I don't think a 4-year-old should be outside unsupervised.
Okay.
Especially when there's a street that separates him from other little boys. And I wouldn't be comfortable with a 4-year-old seeing 2 little boys that he plays with come over to his house And I wouldn't be comfortable with, at some point, him not crossing the street to go over to their house. And in this street, there is a flow of traffic. Cars do go in the street. Are you looking at me quizzically? I don't live in your neighborhood, so I can't tell you where the cars go in your street. Do cars go in the street?
Cars do go in the street, but my son does not go across the street at all. He's never been over to their house. Our children don't play together. This was literally a matter of what I saw with my own eyes, Your Honor.
Well, if what you're telling me, you saw with your own eyes, your son being bullied and then went up to take a shower, then what I'm telling you is that you have a screw loose. That's what you just told me.
Okay, so
That's what you just told me.
No, that isn't what I said. I was just trying to explain to you what happened on the day that it occurred, and I really didn't get a chance to.
No, I asked you questions.
Okay.
The first thing I wanted to find out was, and when you got to where I was going, you said, well, my 12-year-old, who had been in the living room with my mother, was now standing outside at the front door.
No, she was standing in the door. She was standing in the door. My mom was in the living room. I always allow her to stand in the door and watch my son. I do not.
Okay, I'm going to let you finish telling your story. I don't believe a word you're saying to me.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just telling you that.
Okay. Well, on the 11th at 5:24, I noticed that the two children were in my yard, and they pushed my son, and they called him a retard. When they called him a retard, he came in and he told me. When he went back in the house, I didn't have any clothes on because I was getting in the shower. I got in the shower. When I stepped out of the shower.
What'd you get in the shower for? Why didn't you go outside and see what was going on?
Because I didn't have any clothes on. I was in the midst of getting in the shower when he told me about it.
Instead of getting in the shower, if my son came in and said something happened to me outside that I was uncomfortable with, I wouldn't say to him, you can go back outside.
I was already in the bed. Maybe I should have. You're right. Maybe I should have, but I didn't. I had a different way of doing things that day.
And why didn't he tell your mother that somebody was bullying him? She was right in the living room. He didn't have to find you in the shower. He had a 12-year-old that was watching him at the door,
yes.
You just told me.
Yes, she did. Yes, she was.
She did. All right. So I don't believe you.
Okay.
Let's get over the bullying part.
Okay.
Let's get over, now let's see if I was in your car.
Okay, so when I stepped out of the shower, I was in the living room talking to my mother, and I have a storm window in my front yard, my front living room. And I noticed that the oldest child had a mop handle, and the youngest child was standing next to him. And the oldest one hit my vehicle, the youngest one kicked. They took turns. As I put on my clothes, I went to the door and I went outside and I said, stop. They ran home. I went to talk to the sister, because the mother wasn't available. The sister told me that. She'll call her sister. I talked to the sister. She flat out refused to pay because she said her children weren't supposed to be.
Who's the sister?
Her sister, the defendant's sister.
Well, what'd you speak to her sister for?
She wasn't at home at the time. The defendant wasn't at home at the time. The sister was watching the children.
Day,
correct.
On the 11th, you went over to her house.
Correct.
Stay still. Stay still. How old are your children?
5 and 7.
What are they doing outside unsupervised?
They were not supposed to be outside on that day.
But they were?
They were.
Who was supposed to be watching them?
My sister.
How old is she?
She's 23.
What was she doing?
To my knowledge, in the house with her 2 babies.
Where were you?
At work. Just got to work when this happened.
Your sister's not a reliable babysitter for you?
Yes.
How long have you been living in your house?
Since January.
Ever had any negative dealings with the plaintiff before?
No, since then, no.
Not before that?
No.
No. So when your sister called you at work and said there had been a complaint that the boys damaged the plaintiff's car, were you surprised?
Very.
Did you ask her where she was?
Yeah.
And she told you I was inside?
Yeah, and I asked her why were they outside. I gave her specific instructions before I left home not to even let them go outside if they were to ask. She let them go outside. She had a headache. That was her excuse.
Okay. You have pictures of the car?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. What's your oldest little boy's name?
Leo.
Leo. Come up here. What's your aunt's name?
Her name is Nini.
She was watching you that day?
Yes.
Your aunt has how many babies?
She just let us go out.
She told you to go out?
Yes.
Had your mother told you that you couldn't go out?
My mom said we couldn't go out.
She said you couldn't?
Yes, she said we couldn't.
But your aunt said you could?
Yes.
And do you play with this little boy? Look here. Do you play with him? Before that day, had you ever played with him?
When we were friends, yes, but not anymore because me and my brother, when he is a bully to us and he likes to say mean words to us, he tries to fight us and we try to fight him back.
But you and your brother went over to his side of the street. You crossed the street.
Mm-hmm.
And was he in his yard?
No, he saw me and my brother in his yard.
So you and your brother were in his yard?
Yeah, and trying to get him to come outside so we could play with him. And then after that, we didn't do nothing to his mom's window or anything. He was the one that did it. He broke it. It wasn't me or my brother.
Who broke the car?
Calvin did.
Tell me how that happened.
With a stick.
Where did he get the stick from?
It's one of the branches sticks from the high tree.
So it was a branch?
Yes.
Okay, go sit down.
Stop.
Problem, Miss Johnson, is I don't necessarily believe that you saw either one of these two boys break your car. I can only say that because the story that you gave me at the beginning was riddled with holes in it. So I believe part of what he says, necessarily believe everything that he's telling me. I don't believe that you saw them damaging your car, because my problem is if you lie to me once, I can't rely on it. And the truth of the matter is, I really think that you both deserve what happened that day because you both allowed your young children to be outside unattended. So fix your car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I suggest you keep both your children under careful surveillance. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I hear you, ma'am.
Good.
And later today,
she immediately starts screaming at the top of her lungs.
No, that wasn't true.
He didn't interrupt you. I don't want you to interrupt him.
She said, "You're going to pay for my stuff." It started with an S, but it wasn't stuff.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tykesha Johnson says neighbor Nakaya McDonald is responsible for vandalism to her car caused by her young sons.
Mop handle. It didn't cause damage so that you couldn't ride in it. I suggest you keep both your children under careful surveillance. Do you understand? Do you understand?
I hear you, ma'am.
Good. I know I've made my point with you. Having 4-year-old grandchildren, I don't think that a 4-year-old belongs outside in the street unattended, and I think you let your son go outside unattended. Either you did or your 12-year-old daughter did, who was supposed to be watching him. We're done here. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think that due to nervousness, she took me as I was lying.
I'm happy with it.
I know what I saw.
I hope we can come to a mutual agreement.
It's just unfortunate that she didn't believe me.
And settle our differences so the kids can play.
But I'm not sure what the future holds.
It's really ridiculous, so I'm just hoping everything blows over.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Adams versus Wright. Step forward.
Sharonda Adams is suing fellow motorist David Wright for an accident in an intersection.
You each claim that the other is responsible for an automobile accident.
Correct.
Correct.
This automobile accident happened where?
Arlington, Texas.
What time?
9:30 p.m.
Dark. On
Yes.
what date?
July 21st.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car were you driving?
A 2018 Nissan days beforehand.
And you had full coverage on this car?
Yes, ma'am.
With a deductible?
Of $2,000.
And what kind of car were you driving?
I have a 2001 F-50 pickup.
And on the 21st of July, 2018 at 9:30 p.m., was that car insured?
Yes, ma'am.
For liability?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go over to your chart.
Oh, certainly.
Please.
On 9:30, July 21st, Your Honor, I was at the stoplight right here, and the defendant was here, and we were waiting for the light to change. When the light changed, I proceeded out to go into my lane that way. And all of a sudden, all I heard was a car smash right into the back of me. Boom. If it was any harder, it would have pushed me over the overall.
What part of the car was hit?
Bumper part right here.
Do you have a photo of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Damage? I'd like to see it.
Thank you.
Have you had the car fixed?
No, it's still at the shop, Your Honor.
When did you take it in?
That Monday, which would probably been 21st, 24th.
What's it doing there for months?
Because I filed the claim with his to go through all the damages and see if they had enough for a claim to pay for the damages. And then a month later, the insurance adjuster called me and said that since I didn't have a police report, that they weren't going to pay for the damages, but I can put in for medical, and I don't have $3,800 to fix that vehicle.
Well, you need only $2,000 because you have full coverage on the car.
I don't have $2,000, Your Honor.
Well, but that's what it would be if you used your insurance.
Right.
Okay. Have you notified your insurance company?
No, Your Honor, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I didn't want my insurance to go up. I just purchased this vehicle, and it would have been up. It went up.
That's what insurance is for.
I know.
Okay, you want to go over there and show me what you have?
Over here, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, so on the evening of the 21st, I was stopped. I was going north on the access road.
So you claim that you were in
I'm in the purple here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Altima is in front of him.
Correct.
Correct. Right. No, your car is in that lane, sir. Not in that lane. Your car is in that lane.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharonda Adams crossed into her lane while she was making a left turn.
So you claim that you were in the
I'm in the purple here. I'm going north because I want to turn left at the next intersection. I'm not turning left here. There are 4 lanes at this intersection. The left lane is a left turn only lane. The next lane over, the one I was in.
I see the arrows.
Okay.
So what you're saying is...
I'm going straight.
You're going straight, and the plaintiff tried to make a left turn from the center lane.
Correct.
That's not
the plaintiff turned left into me as I was going straight. I hit the brake. We pulled off over here on the access road or on the overpass by the thing. I got out, check on her. She immediately starts screaming at the top of her lungs.
No, that wasn't true.
He didn't interrupt you. I don't want you to interrupt him.
She said, "You're going to pay for my stuff." It started with an S, but it wasn't stuff. And then she started going over and over again. I got to call someone, Roger, Robert, someone, I don't know. So I went back to my truck because as obviously I wasn't going to be able to communicate. Told my son to call the police. He dialed 911. 20 minutes later, 2 Grand Prairie officers showed up. One went to her car, took her statement. One
Do
went,
you have that police report?
Yes, ma'am, I sure do.
I'd like to see it.
This is the report.
I was with Officer Reed. Your Honor.
Just a second. They didn't ask for any information?
No, Your Honor. What the officer said, what Officer Reed said to me.
You can't tell me what the officer said to you. It's not in this report.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's just an informational report. He told me we don't know whose fault.
Listen to me.
You can't say.
You can't say what the police officer told you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I have video footage to show exactly where our vehicles were because we were at a stoplight.
Okay, I'd like to see it. Where did you obtain this video from?
There is a corner store right there at the corner.
Okay, and you got it from them?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. Well, clearly, she's in the lane closer to the left. Sir, your truck is in that lane. That camera.
I can't tell.
I can. I can. Your Altima is in front of him.
Correct.
Correct. Right. No, your car is in that lane, sir. Not in that lane. Your car is in that lane. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. We're finished.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm very happy for the decision.
I wish I had a dash cam.
He asked me if I was okay.
Quite agitated.
I said, no, I'm not okay. Because he just hit my brand new car.
The police said she was mad because it's a brand new car.
Very frustrating because my vehicle still was not fixed.
But she was...
Of course, I had a brand new car.
Not very happy at all.
Now I'm glad to get the money to fix my vehicle now.
Take two best friends.
We went to like 5 bars that night.
Oh, interesting.
Add some alcohol.
You had tequila at all of them.
Yes.
And you end up with this.
So you went out for a cigarette and?
She got in my face accusing me of stealing other guys from her. She was attacking me. I was trying to get her off of me. She's been insecure the whole time we've been friends.
Judge Judy.
Now to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
21-year-old Sierra Curtis is suing her former friend, 22-year-old Kaylee Aiello, for medical bills and damages after she assaulted her outside a bar.
Order. All rise. It's case number 222 on the calendar in the matter of Curtis versus Aiello.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Two of you young ladies had been friends and went to a bar or a club on July 25th of this year. Both of you were probably drinking. You're going to tell me how much, and each of you claim that the other is responsible for an assault. What time did you get to the club?
I got there a little bit early, so probably around 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
Did you come together?
No.
What time did you get there?
Well, we actually did go there together, so around 10.
You went in the same vehicle?
Yes. She picked me up.
From where?
My house.
Where had you been prior to going to the club?
Actually, I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was correct. I forgot that night I did pick her up.
And prior to that, neither of you had been drinking. That's right?
No. Yes, that's
Good.
right.
And what time did this incident occur?
Probably around 1:30, 1:40. It was closing.
Worth of drinking. I don't hear this.
Correct.
This is both a talkie and a video. So that means a yes.
Yes.
And what kind of alcohol do you drink?
Tequila.
And you?
Not usually tequila, but that night, tequila.
So it's about closing time, and who wanted to go out for a cigarette?
I did.
Were you and Miss Aiello sitting together prior to that?
Yes, we were in front of the bar with a couple other people.
The couple of other people were men or women?
Men.
Anybody new and interesting?
No.
All people that you knew?
We did not know them. We met them that night.
But nothing interesting?
No.
Anything interesting for you?
She found the bartender pretty interesting.
Had you been to that bar before?
Yes, but I had never met him before.
Had you ever met him before?
Yes.
Name?
His name was Parker.
So you were more interested in Parker?
I mean, I wasn't interested. I was interested as a friend.
But more interested than the guys that you were standing around?
They were all together, but yeah.
Even the bartender?
Yes, he was behind the bar and we were at the bar.
So you went out for a cigarette and?
So I went out for a cigarette and I went with the group of people who were in there. We were talking outside. I was smoking a cigarette and she had followed me out and was talking with another group of people. And I was talking with this group, minding my own business, and she started yelling at me pretty much. And she was like, oh, stop talking about you. Like, I'm not even next to you. You're over there. Like, leave me alone. And she just kept saying that I was talking crap. So then I was like, Kaylee, shut up. Like, I'm not even freaking talking about you. You're being really annoying. And by that time, I looked over and I got hit to the face. I fell down on the ground and she was attacking me. I was trying to get her off of me. I was kind of pushing her away and I was screaming. I looked over and I saw the bartender and I yelled at him to come pull her off of me.
And did he?
Yes.
Okay. You have photographs of your injuries?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see them.
And then I have photos of my injuries as well when you get a chance.
I'll get to you.
Okay.
So you had a swollen lip and you had a scraped knee. Two of your nails broke. Did you seek medical attention for any of these injuries?
Yes, I went to the doctor.
Can I see the report, please?
These two.
Well, that's just a bill. And this is a picture of the medicine.
Correct.
Do you give you one unless you ask for one? So they gave you aspirin?
Yes, ibuprofen.
Okay. Now you can tell me your version of the events.
So we went to the bar to see the bartender that she wanted to meet up with. After probably a drink there at the bar,
Could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Just for my own ears, could you please talk and not sing?
Yeah.
Could you try just talking?
Yeah,
like
I can
I'm
try.
talking to you.
I
Do you
can try.
understand? Try talking, no singing.
Okay, so then after we met up with the bartender, we got a drink. She started accusing me of stealing him from her, and I told her I didn't want anything to do with him. She asked me to go outside and smoke a cigarette with her, and I don't
this
smoke.
is 3 hours later. You got there at 10 o'clock. We're now talking 1:30, so that's 3.5 hours later.
Throughout the night?
I'm just talking, you got there at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And then you went outside for a cigarette, but that was at 1:30 in the morning. During that period of time, 3 hours, the two of you were sitting there and drinking.
Not at that bar.
At which bar?
We went to like 5 bars that night.
Oh, interesting. So this was the last one you went to?
Yes.
And you had tequila at all of them?
Yes.
And you were driving?
No.
Well, you picked her up?
My friend picked her up with me, and she ended up leaving that night earlier because she lost her wallet or didn't have money.
Who was her car?
It was her car. I was in the car with her.
You were in the passenger seat?
Correct.
So at the time you were in the last bar, how did you get to the last bar?
They were all next to each other downtown, so we walked.
So now you're at the last bar meeting up with Parker?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So after meeting up with Parker, when she started accusing me of wanting to steal him from her, I told her that I didn't want anything to do with him. She asked me to go outside with her and smoke a cigarette. And I don't smoke, but I usually go outside with her whenever she does because we stick together when we go downtown. And we both went outside together, and she got in my face accusing me of stealing other guys from her. Am I going to steal this one like you did the rest? And she's been insecure the whole time we've been friends. And she grabbed me by the hair, went to pull me down. We both fell to the ground. Probably scuffled for a minute, and it got broken up.
By whom?
I have no idea. Just random people. And Parker also never left the bar. He didn't split up the fight. I have messages from him, Your Honor.
If you needed Parker, he should have been here. I don't take messages from somebody
Well, I
who's not
have a message stating that he did pull her off of me and went back to the bar.
Listen to me. Don't you understand? La la, that comes to the la la la. I don't read messages from people who are not here.
Okay.
Do you have photographs of your injuries?
Yes. Your Honor, I wasn't planning to come to court, so I wasn't, we would be here.
I don't care what you don't have. Well, it means nothing to me what you don't have. What you do have would be important.
And this is from a bite.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's about a week later.
I don't know that. Okay, so I have no injuries for you, so your counterclaim is dismissed.
Well, I also have tuition reimbursement and dental bills.
Listen to me. I asked you to show me your injuries. What you showed me is nothing. Now, you have other injuries that you would like to address?
Well, in my counterclaim, I had...
No. That's either a yes or a no.
Yes.
If it's a yes. And you have dental bills from on or about the date of this incident.
Yes.
Not bill, I want to see the notes from the dentist.
Yeah, that's on here.
Great. Has nothing to do with this case at all.
I got x-rays and a filling had popped out.
I don't know what in the world this is. It said that you had x-rays and then you had 2 resin-based compost surface posts.
Yeah, that was the filling on the side. So they took an x-ray because my jaw was swollen. So they took an x-ray to make sure there was no damage to the root.
Show me your jaw was swollen. Show me a picture.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't have that. Your context is when 2 people are drunk and they get into a scuffle and one gets a little more injured than the other, unless somebody decides to use a weapon, it usually comes under the category of courts don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
You got a scraped knee and a swollen lip.
I just wanted reimbursement for the damages.
I don't care what you want. She says she went to the dentist because her jaw hurt her. You had a swollen lip and a scraped knee.
I had my lips done, Your Honor, and it caused damage to them.
Goodbye. We're done.
Okay.
Don't get drunk. It's unladylike. It's stupid. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Got it?
Yep. Yes.
Good. Bye.
Great, thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It started out good, but I think her insecurities got the best of her. I honestly don't know. I'm not insecure. I had a swollen jaw, and she bit me. I went outside, and she did attack me, kind of like a rabid dog. I did not fight her back. I did try pushing her off. I think that she needs to learn how to control her alcohol. I mean, I drink tequila all the time, and I always have fun, so we probably would have been better off without it. We are definitely not talking. I don't think I'll ever talk to her again. Time to go separate ways.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kim Yayi.
21-year-old Arna Kim Yayi is suing her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, for damages resulting from the dissolution of their partnership in a salon.
Ms. Kim Yayi, it is your claim that the defendant breached a contract that you had with her to partner in a salon, and as a result of that, you suffered damages. The defendant says that you really didn't have an agreement to partner with her. She's got a counterclaim for damaging her property as a result of a bad makeover that you were doing. And I don't know what jeopardizing business means. I assume you'll take 2 minutes and explain it to me. Did you have a written contract with her?
Yes.
That's either a yes or no. Did you have a written contract with her? That's a simple question. They get harder.
Yes, but it wasn't signed.
Can I see it?
I don't have it. She had it.
You didn't make a copy?
I didn't get to get it because she started the argument right before it was printed, and we had talked to a lawyer and everything.
Well, then you didn't have a contract.
You could say that.
I can. I am. It was intended that the business be contractually, in writing, memorialized. Before that happened, you had an argument. So the contract was never memorialized, which means that you never had a contract. So what are you suing her for?
In a moment.
Bird, she's not getting it right.
Just the property.
That's the wall and...
The wall.
I'm not interested in the wall. I asked you to circle what property.
Okay.
Take the rest out, or you're going out.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Arna Kim Yayi says her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, dissolved their partnership in a salon without notice. Mary is countersuing for stolen and damaged property and punitive damages.
It was intended that the business be contractually, in writing, memorialized. Before that happened, you had an argument. So the contract was never memorialized, which means that you never had a contract. So what are you suing her for?
I'm suing her for the money that I believe she owes me for all the property and everything that I bought, all the expenses I spent.
Well, she doesn't owe you for any of your expenses because you didn't have a contract. She may owe you for property if you claim that she still has property and is wrongfully withholding your property that you purchased. What property do you claim that you purchased that she is withholding from you?
Salon furniture I bought.
Furniture?
Correct.
I'd like to see photographs of it.
Okay. Some of these pictures are before and afters together, but you could basically see, yeah, that's it. And I also have...
Just a second. Is what you're telling me you bought all these chairs?
No, that's the before. The pink is the after. So they're together.
Just a second. Look. Take a pencil. Make a circle around property that you bought.
Okay.
That you claim she still has.
Okay.
Bird, if she's not getting it right.
Just circle the property.
Yeah.
Just the property.
That's the wall and...
The wall. You purchased the wall.
I'm not interested in the wall. No, listen to me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I circled the property.
No. Listen to me carefully. I'm not interested in the expenses that you expended, like painting, like fixing floors, all in anticipation of signing a contract. I asked you to circle what property you purchased with your cash that she still has. Chair, sofa, out.
Yeah, that's just it.
That's the list of stuff.
Yeah, that's just what I paid for and stuff. I have more pictures, but...
Okay, 1, 2, how many chairs?
3.
Do you have her 3 chairs?
Yes.
She gets them back. 3 chairs. What else?
2 sofas.
I'd like to see the bills for the sofas.
Well, this is the hairdryer bill. This is...
No.
I don't have the...
Just a second. All I asked you for were the bills for the sofas.
I don't have it. I only have the text message.
Okay, she's going to give you back the 3 chairs anyway. She acknowledges she has them, and they're yours. What else?
I mean, she's used the chairs.
I don't care. You're getting the chairs back. What's next?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you take out stuff that was in there to put in the 3 chairs?
I didn't take it out physically, but so she hired somebody.
Changed my mind.
Look at this chair. Does it look like somebody would even want to sit on this chair anymore?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Arna Kim Yai says her former business partner, Mary Stallworth, dissolved their partnership in a salon without notice. Mary is countersuing for stolen and damaged property and punitive damage.
Acknowledges she has them, and they're yours. What else?
I mean, she's used the chairs.
I don't care. What's next?
I paid $1,000 for a dryer.
What kind of a dryer?
A dual dryer. It has a sofa attached to it.
What does it dry?
For your hair, to dry the hair.
I'd like to see the bill for it.
Let me circle it for you. Here we go.
I would just like to see where you spent $1,000. That's not a bill. That's a text.
I gave her cash.
Did she give you $1,000 in cash for a dryer?
No, she gave me $900.
Where's the dryer?
I did not order a dryer.
So what did you do with the $900?
I have the $900 still.
Good. She gets $900 and 3 chairs. What's next?
I had purchased a leather bar table and...
Do you have that?
No.
Next.
A refrigerator and a microwave.
Those in your shop?
Yes.
I also gave her $500 rent.
Keep going.
Also a styling station. I circled it over there.
I don't care what you circled. I want a bill for it.
It's right here.
What is it?
I guess it got crossed out on the picture, but it was $100, but it should be...
3 chairs. That's on your side. You have a counterclaim for missing and damaged property. What's missing?
Everything out of my salon is missing.
What do you mean?
Me and Arna had an agreement to...
Just a second. You mean she replaced the stuff that was in your salon with this stuff?
It's not even completely replaced. I went from a 3-station salon to a 1-station salon.
What was taken out?
Stations, dryers, refrigerator, microwave, pictures, clocks.
Just a second. Did you replace a refrigerator with a new refrigerator?
Yes, ma'am. And a new microwave.
And a microwave. There were existing refrigerators and microwaves there.
I didn't throw it out.
What did you do with it?
She hired somebody to throw it out.
Did you take out stuff that was in there to put in the 3 chairs?
It was 2 styling stations, but yes. I didn't take it out physically, but so she hired somebody.
Changed my mind, $900. That's what you get. She gave you $900 for what?
She gave me $900 towards a dryer to replace the dryers that she had thrown out.
How many dryers did she throw out?
She threw out 2 dryers.
Was that with your consent?
No, it was not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Twitter.
She gave you $900 for what?
She gave me $900 towards a dryer to replace the dryers that she had thrown out.
How many dryers did she throw out?
She threw out 2 dryers.
Was that with your consent?
No, it was not.
That's what our counterclaim is.
Right, and it's ridiculous. Do you see, does it look like this? Look at this chair. Does it look like somebody would even want to sit on this chair anymore?
We're done. Thank you. Business gone wrong. Should have had a contract. We're done. Thank you.
We had a contract, ma'am.
Thank you. No, you had no contract.
I'm 21 years old, and I started a business, and I trusted this lady.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
What could I say? It was perfect. She didn't have a contract. She came in my salon.
Well, her shop was falling apart, so I tried to help her out.
Thinking that she can come in here and turn it into her place of business, and she was wrong.
By expanding her clientele and actually help her, but...
She ran my stylist off. I mean, she's definitely made my character. She's done a lot of stuff.
I'm just now 21, and this lady has a 21-year-old daughter.
So